There
we are. Okay, we have Jake, Josh, and Tesh here with us. Well, I wish it was Josh with us. Jake, Josh, and Tesh is like a smooth transition of names, right?
Yeah.
Like Neil.
Oh, yeah.
Neil sounds shoehorned in there, like you're doing like the director's cousin a favor. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a good one.
Either way. There you go. Okay, so what's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Good.
Yeah, good.
I am glad to hear it. Hopefully nothing but good news today. And by that, I mean, hopefully we actually make progress in the story. Without Neil here, there's nothing to slow us down. So
I don't know. Considering how things went last session, he did pretty fucking good.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I say nothing to slow us down, but truth be told, you always had like Anno rolling and being like blat and like dropping like 2 trump cards. Yeah. Dos Vidania. And like just fading into the darkness, you know? Be like, wow, okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Anno. Luckily, I can see within like a minute delay, I can see who is on the watching the stream. And while I know that Viking and Norway are here, not just because they spoke in chat, because I can see their names, I don't see Anno or Joey, so we should be safe for a hot minute. Viking and Norway don't trump card.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So
This is the EU stream, right?
Yeah.
The prime EU hours, I think.
yeah, I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
It's 7:11 in the morning on the East Coast, which means that it's 4:11 in the morning on the West Coast. And if you're in Hawaii or Hawaii, or I always forget how they pronounce it. Like I feel like a douche when I don't say it right. But if you're in Hawaii, it is 2:11 in the morning. I think maybe 1:11. Yeah, I think they're 5 hours behind me. Anyways, it is, sir. It is. Who wants to recap?
All right, I'll start. You can help me with that. All right.
Okay.
So
I'll cover
I think
the
where we
whole.
started. Yeah, where we started off was back in the Dead People Inn, right? We were there.
Dead
I never
people in
remember the name
the
of that.
faded glory.
The
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the what'd you call it? The rusty
Guild-
trombone.
it-
That's what's in my head. That's it's got to stick now.
Seriously? That's what gets
You
stuck
said that
up?
at one point. Yeah.
I know. I said it because I couldn't think of faded glory, and you're sitting there and you're just like, "Yes, please. I'll have another."
So yeah, so we were accosted by several guards at the inn, and were taken by a wagon to meet with. Tash, who did we meet with here?
The Centurion of War.
Yes, and during that meeting,
Winberry.
Yeah, Winberry. She's pleasant,
Yeah,
isn't she?
so she locked down like a district, and it was very heavily guarded.
The meeting was more or less a way to secure us in a zone so that they would get to talk to the
Field commander.
Well,
the field commander.
that is the lowest, like the most mean way to. Most likely, what she was doing is trying to acquire information or confirm some suspicions, and then as well as like you have to imagine
yes,
she wasn't like
definitely
let's lock them all down.
Well, I
throw
mean,
us under
literally,
the
the
bus as
only
much as she
reason
could.
Tristan and Galen were brought was to lock them down. That's literally the only reason they were brought.
But
Yeah, so we had the meeting.
Yeah.
In which we learned exactly what Tess just said.
Yeah.
And then we went to leave, and we weren't allowed to leave. So they locked us down, and Tristan gave a gallant speech.
No, Galen.
And
No, Tristan.
it was-
God damn,
it was
fuck you.
and
a bad joke about my name.
yes, and managed to secure his weapons. And I think even Pan managed to get in there quickly and get hers back. as well. And then we went upstairs and spoke with the Batson, who informed us that we need to go through all the evidence that we've got, and somebody needs to get out to see the field commander before they reached the building. And Viggo was just out of it. He went to sleep. Galen was super tired and had no PowerPoint, so he was effectively useless as the same as Viggo.
Yeah, I also couldn't use my psionics, so it left Tristan.
That left Tristan, who spider climbed out the window, ran through the streets.
It's just so funny to think of Tristan in his plate mail spider climbing. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Like, what's that horror movie with the person that does like the crab walk down the walls? You know what I mean? Or is that Resident Evil? Whatever it was. Like, the idea of that just is funny to me. Go ahead, sir.
He then ran through the street, stole his own horse from people that were looking after it for him.
That was funny for me.
Yeah. Oh, Tristan's gonna be so mad as he rides off on his own horse.
So then, he rode to the gate, made it out, didn't realize that he'd missed them, and had to ride back in, flew over somebody on his horse.
Pretty cool,
so fucking ridiculous.
But I love it.
And managed to get to the field commander, who he spoke with him and informed of the situation, who then told him to go and report to the test thing. Yeah. And he did report in, and they attacked him. And where we left off was the field commander had come in, said that it was a test.
They failed.
They failed or something. And so she had
put all the soldiers to the side.
I believe she said, "My apologies. That was a test, and they failed." Was
that's exactly
like more or less my apologies for doing that to you. However, like go ahead.
And that was it. She disarmed all the guards that were around. And I think that's where we left.
There was a little bit extra where pardon me, a psionically controlled person, I assume, gave me a crown, a psi crown to put on later when I'm not so out of it and we're not in a bad place.
Oh, that is
holy
correct.
fuck.
Hi,
also,
Steve.
Can we please
Hi, Steve.
Can I have a round of applause for the best recap I've given?
I don't know if it's the best you've ever given, but that was pretty solid. That was really good.
Especially
I feel like that. I'm just saying, you seemed very dialed in to that session for you to do such a. It makes me wonder if I just suck as a DM most of the time. But last week I had you. So.
I've been looking forward to this session all week. Last session was actually really exciting for me. So
was really what
stuff that happened that was exciting.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it. Especially Neil's bit, like that really,
so good.
Really got me at the end there.
Like he crushed it all session long with how he got the weapons back and got there and whatnot. I'm sorry, sir.
I was gonna say I love the fact that he had 10 people trying to hit him and none of them did.
Actually, I think at the end it was 14, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it was a group of 2, and then it was 4 and 4, which got us to 10. I think. Oh, you know what? 4 more were gonna join, and I think they literally just came up as she like.
I think so, yeah.
So it was a lot of people where it's just smash. I just wanted to get like 2 hits off on him just to show like the danger of the scenario, and he's just kind of like
he's just
ooh. Like. So there is so fun. It's like a chick behind the hood. That's because they in that scenario were trying to batter him down. So if I was actually doing this in a way where like I wanted to properly make him useless. The way I would go about that instead is instead of having 14 people attack with a +5 or what have you, and the only way they could hit was a natty 20, was I would have one person attempt to grapple with 13 people providing a +2, so they would have a +26 on top of their own CMB. So they would probably have something like a +31, 32 on their CMB. They would automatically succeed unless they rolled a natty 1.
Does it work like that?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Every person assisting you gets it, and because he's large sized at the time that he was being attacked, I would absolutely be able to grapple him with all of those people. Once he was pulled off of the horse and like moved over, then the maximum people would be 8, in which case you would have 1 +7, so it'd be a +14 on top of their CMB. And then once you have them grappled, you can then have them pinned. Once they're pinned, then they're helpless. Then to maintain pinned, you actually get a +4 to the roll, so one person would no longer be attempting in the pin. So now you, instead of a +14 from them, you'd be getting a +16 from 6 of them, and one of them would be just critical hitting, bashing you, because once you're helpless, because you're pins, I can. Oh Jesus Christ, Steve!
Holy!
I can what's the word I'm looking for here? Non-lethal coup de grace you, right? So I could just knock you unconscious. So if that was a scenario I wanted to do,
This
I
is
could
why zombie
do so.
swarms are so terrifying.
Exactly. Any or mobs or what have you, they're all very scary. The reason why I didn't go down there, again, peek behind the hood, the reason why I didn't go down that route is because having his character be unconscious would have just been me punishing the PC for being well-built and successful from the important RP scenario that's coming up afterwards. Like, that's needless. Now, I kind of wish I went down that route because I didn't realize he wasn't going to be here in this session. So, like, I should have gone down that route because that's like using the rules to my advantage, and it would have filled in the gap. Because now we got Josh sitting here just staring at us like contempt again. Like, just saying. But that's fine.
I mean, you could always have that guy that, you know, he jumped over who was really angry at him. He just like accidentally maced him or something. You know what I mean?
Walking past,
just clutching his purse and sprays him in the face. And he's like, "Oh, I'm allergic to peppers." No, no, I wouldn't want to like one shot him like that. Like that'd be doing Tristan dirty. So instead, what I'm going to do is, as you guys are coming into this next scenario, he's going to like more or less hang back down, keeping guard in the room downstairs in case of X, Y, or Z. He just has to be removed from the RP moment. Sadly. So, but okay, we got to our point. Let's where was I at? What was I doing? Oh, so Jesus Christ, Steve, what are you doing, sir? Like, I appreciate it. You're just making me nervous. Like, that's 25 total. No, yeah, 25 total. You're making me nervous, sir.
We love you, Steve. What's scaring us is the random amounts.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean,
it's very deliberate amounts. That's what's scary.
Well, the funny part is, it's there's no incentive. This is an issue I have with Twitch. There's no incentive in not doing random amounts. Like, if you buy 5 gift subs or if you buy 50 gift subs, it's the same price per gift sub. There's no like bulk discount for getting a bunch at once. In my opinion, there really should be. Like, why not? Even if it's like 10%. Like, that would be so much better. But either way, that's, as you and I know,
the thing is, what Twitch will do is put that discount towards the streamer.
No. They every time they provide a discount, it's always to the benefit of the streamer. Yeah. So like, if you buy bits in bulk, it doesn't affect the streamer. If you buy Steve, if you buy anything in bulk or during September and stuff like that, it's all, you know. But either way. Okay, let's.
He's just trying to get everyone in chat a sub. Is that what he's trying to do?
I have no idea.
Look at his total gift subs. All right.
Where is he at?
Oh, yeah, at the top there.
Oh, $12.95. I see now. Yeah.
No. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Tash?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I see it.
You see it.
What?
Look at the top of chat
for the month.
There we go. Okay. I see it now. All right. For those of you that can't see it, it's 69. So now we'll know if that's actually his goal. If he stops at this point, he's a loony boy. So, all right, cool. Anything else that we, what were we doing? We were talking, getting this set up. So if I remember correctly with where you guys had stopped, you are inside the building. And he is outside, but the door is being opened, and they're walking in. It was literally one of those. She told them to open it now, and they gave the command. Waited a moment, gave the command, or what? I will not be commanding this again, or whatever she said. And the door opened up. All the people are off to the side, as Jake had recapped.
Yeah,
cool.
And her people are like taking care of them.
Yes. Perfect. So the door opens up for Tristan and Yolanda. Nope. Marilla. The door opens up for
Yolanda's with us.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. I just realized of the 5 leaders that were in, like noteworthy leaders that were in Melisal Harbor, it was 4 ladies and one of them was a traitor. So.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So the door opens up and for Yolanda and for Tristan, and as it opens up, yeah.
Not Yolanda again. You did Yolanda again.
Marilla and Tristan, thank you. For Marilla and Tristan. And the door opens up. The guards that are on the inside, they have their weapons drawn. They're in a somewhat, if not complete, defensive stance as they're seeing this, awaiting command from who their officer happens to be. Again, you have to remember this is many hours later, so the person that wasn't there the second time you guys went back downstairs is there again. So you have the tactician recruit, I believe is what they are. Tack rack or whatever it is down there. So the door opens up and they see her standing there, and it's one of those things where obviously they know who that person is. So they're like, stand down, as they see that. Oh, Steve.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm even more scared.
And you give one to Daelric bot. That is frightening. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you the door opens up and he's stand down, and they I will either sheathe their weapons or hold them down by their side, get out of their full defensive stance or what have you, and she'll look at all of them, and she'll look at the commander that's in charge, say, order those beneath. She says, order those under your commands to stand alongside that wall. And he looks at the group around the room and says, you heard the field commander along the wall. And so they all kind of
looks like that Simpsons character. The teenage one that works at all the fast food places.
This poor dude was like, just got hired. It's like, like this is his second day on the job.
Like, you heard her.
Fresh out of, is he the first one they go into after you finish? Like,
yes,
yeah.
This is like when you finish training. Usually, very quickly after you get like any amount of experience under your belt, you very quickly get promoted out of this position. This is like what you get called during boot camp, right? Like during training. And then what you get called very shortly afterwards. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like
what is like his first couple of weeks on the job.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're still in this position usually after 3 months, but definitely after 6 months of coming out of the initial training, there's something wrong. You know? Like, either way, imagine retiring as.
Oh my god.
I served 20 years.
Wait, are they still better pay than the wardens and champions and all that, though?
So if you look at the United States military structure and how pay works, yeah, usually the lowest ranking officers get paid better than all but the highest ranking enlistment. So because it usually goes from E1 to E10, O1 to O10. The O10 literally sits inside the White House, right? So usually an O1 gets paid about the same as like an E6, E7 or some shit like that, right? It's fucking crazy. It's one of those like, wait, hold, what? But obviously there's other factors involved. Like an officer might not be overseas getting hazard pay. They might not get this. They might not get that. There's so many other things that don't get involved with it. Plus we're talking about base pay. There could be so many other factors involved. But if you just like Google the rates of pay for just the rank, just like that plain number, it's uneven. Which is one of the reasons why you're like, just fucking get an associate's degree before you go into the military. Just get an associate's degree. You can be an officer. Your life will be easier. But not everybody has either the mental capacity or the financial ability to do that. So also some people, they join the military to get away from horrible family lives. And, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, right? So moving on. So the and to be clear, because I wasn't trying to like throw shade, I didn't have the mental capacity to get an associate's degree. I'm 36 now. I could do it now. I couldn't in my 20s. It would have been impossible. I tried multiple times. All right, back to the game. Anyway, so she gives us. He's like, you heard her. He has like his second commands to them, and they're like look around and kind of thrown off for a second, but then they slowly make their way over there, and she'll walk up to them, up to that tactician recruit, and say, "Have each one of them disarmed. My men are taking over." And then she'll say, "Which office can I find her in? She was supposed probably in bed at this time. Gives him like a cold look and is like, you and I both know she's not sleeping right now. And so he kind of nods and like names the office. And then she gives like commands to, remember I said 2 more people plus Neil came in here. She'll look at Neil and she'll say, hold on, let me make sure I get this pulled up correctly. I always forget to pull this up first because I suck. She'll look at Neil and she'll say, congratulations, you've been promoted to warden. Keep watch this room. She says, watch this room, listen to what my soldiers say. And then she turns and walks up the stairs with her other 2 people behind her. As she's walking up the stairs, Tristan can just barely hear the words in the background. Sorry, Neil, you weren't here for that. Tristan, it's sad. Oh. Yeah, I can't control that.
Yeah,
so,
it's unfortunate.
And champions can't be given commands like that. So, so she, he can hear her as she's walking into the stairwell to go upstairs. He can hear her echoing down, saying, "Finds the battle commander." And the other 2. Bring them to me immediately. And you can hear, yes, ma'am. As somebody then, hear the clinking of their chainmail and the clonking of their bootsteps as they move ahead of her and start jogging up the stairs to go and find where you guys are. So where you are upstairs, you're sleeping. You're like full blown. You're full blown drooling on the pillow, like full blown.
Very much so. Like this is we are comped the fuck out.
Yeah, and I won't lie. Like you guys know that sleep where you wake up and you were drooling on the pillow, and it is so.
What
good.
year is it sleep?
Yeah. Oh my god. When you wake up, and not the one where you wake up and you're groggy afterwards because you're useless.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, you wake up and you're just like, life is heaven. I want to join heaven life. Steve, I did it for you. So, anyways, at one point in time where you guys are, the barracks you're in, all of a sudden you're woken up to boom, 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 and like as you like hearing that noise and kind of like jarring you awake, you hear just kind of commands, like like a 10 hut on your feet, like that kind of like, and everybody's just kind of like jumping, like getting ready.
Yeah.
You remember these, Jake, from training. You remember this kind of shit from training, but it's kind of removed for you. Galen, you don't remember this just from training. You actually were in frontline scenarios where you had to deal with scenarios like this before.
Yeah, this is like a combat thing is happening.
Exactly. So for you, Tesh, I'm not even going to make you roll. You immediately, it's like your body acts before your mind realizes.
I was going to say, it's almost like a reactive sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you literally wake up realizing you're on your 2 feet standing at attention, right? Like that's where your conscious mind kind of clicks back into place and you realize, what? I just stood up. Like, what's going on? That's when your mind clicks in just out of that raw instinct. Jake, I just need from you really quickly a professional soldier check just for composure.
Yeah, I don't have that.
If you lack that, that's fine. I just need from you a wisdom check.
Not a reflex? Wisdom?
No, wisdom. Yep. It's your mind. It's your reactive mind.
Wisdom.
Okay.
Oof.
Thanks.
So you hear the boom, 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 boom,
you
boom,
were
boom,
also
boom.
the most wrecked out of everyone because you stayed up for like 3 days.
You think they want to hear your excuses, Tesh?
Oh,
So anyways, you hear this and you like wake up and it's one of those things where you hear like this banging and you wake up and like as you're kind of coming to and you're lifting your like sticky face off the pillow, as you're waking up, you hear like a whole bunch of like clomping of boots and all and what have you. Oh, so close to a hype train. That's exciting. And good morning, V-Sword. So you can hear a whole bunch of like clomping feet onto the ground and shifting of people out of the sheets and things falling out of the bed. Like you can hear all sorts of stuff happening. As you like open your eyes to look, you can already see that Galen is standing at attention. So you're not an idiot. You of course know what you're supposed to do. It's one of those like you have to pick up your head off the pillow for like a solid second or two before you realize, oh, I got to get up. So you stand out of bed and you try to get so quickly, but it's not like you do so with like the practiced ease and swift motion, right? So you eventually stand up, and by the time you're standing at attention, you already have 1 second.
Uh-oh.
I have to read that again. So it's the as you are standing at attention, the person's already halfway done walking down the aisle, so they can see that you're moving slowly to get up. Now, mind you, you never changed, did you?
No, I didn't think any of us did.
So the person comes walking down as they see you clearly. The last Galen notices you're the last one to stand up, and you can look over and quickly see they're doing that walk. That like, who pinged me? Who the fuck pinged me? Like what? Like that kind of walk as they're walking into the barracks. So they're making their way over towards Viggo as they have that like fiery look, and they stop and they stand in front of Viggo and they look him down and back up again. There's like a half second as Viggo's, his mind is fully coming to him. He has full clarity of what's going on, though he feels a bit groggy and thrown off. He sees the person standing there, and he says, "Battle tactician, sir. I was giving command of this barracks and everybody therein, despite rank. This command comes directly from the field commander. Do you understand and respect this, sir?" And then you kind of like taking a moment and looking at them. You realize it's a chief excellent that's standing before you. So somebody that should be respected despite the fact that you clearly outrank them.
Yeah. He just replies, "Yes, sir."
He nods and says, "Thank you, sir." He looks to everybody inside the room and says, "You will leave your belongings where they are. You have 1 minute to get your boots on, and we are filing out now." And then he turns and like walks back down the aisle to the door that you guys will be making your way out of. Now, granted, this barracks has 2 doors in and out for the sake of expediency, but they walk back out, to the door to like oversee it as everybody quickly grabs their boots and starts putting them on. So I imagine you guys have no problem with this. You're literally still wearing your crinkled up and looking like shit officer's uniform, probably with a bit of blood on it, because you tried, but you're not perfect.
Yeah. Does prestidigitation fix that?
A prestidigitation absolutely would, but I imagine like a good 3 castings because you have to get the crusty blood off,
A good 3, yeah. Wait, can Galen still do that?
I can.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Viggo looks at you and goes, can you give me some help, please, Galen?
Oh,
so it's funny.
And I would do the whole thing, like make it like, because you can make it like uncrinkled, right? Yeah, so I would do the whole thing, give him the full setup.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was sipping. So yeah, so I imagine him the way it literally works. He said 1 minute. It's 10 rounds. I imagine round 1 it takes a 4-round action to retrieve, or 1-round action retrieve your boots and what have you from where you need them. Round 2, Tesh slides his feet into his boots, casts prestidigitation, and they are perfectly tied up on him. Round 3, he turns over at Viggo and goes,
"This cloak."
Ugh, and casts prestidigitation and de-wrinkles his clothes and laces up his boots for him. Realizes the blood stains because he has a very high perception check, and casts it a couple more times. Looks down at himself. Casts it a couple more times on himself as well.
Deodorant.
It's one of those, like, it doesn't last perfect, but maybe at least gets rid of the immediate smell. Even if 10 minutes of walking inside of heavy clothes, it's gonna stink again.
Yeah.
But either way, it's like get rid of that.
I can make it so the clothes don't stink. And that's the important part.
No, what you do is you put a perfume on the clothes.
Yes, yeah. Because if the clothes stink and the body stinks, then that's extra bad.
Well, you like I said, it's almost like putting you can clear away the debris, but you're gonna put a perfume to try to cover it up. So, anyways, so like within a minute, you guys are looking significantly better than you did, and you can start being amongst the first people to walk out the barracks and stand out there. So you see the Chief Excellent standing out there as the 2 of you are significantly more put together, and he looks at Galen. As he comes around, Galen's of course wearing his armor as well.
Yep.
Excuse me, because did you slept? You actually specifically said
I sleep in my armor.
Yeah. Because you can press digitation to clean it. But obviously, sometimes you take it off and wash it, but not when you're passing out because you think something might happen. And you knew stuff would happen.
This is like combat shit could go down. The armor stays on. Yeah. I need to be up immediately, sort of thing.
I imagine for compensation, Galen, if he doesn't sleep in his armor because he's prepared for combat, he sleeps buck naked for freedom. You know. He's yeah, absolutely.
Hey, he's got the astral suit to cover him up.
Yep. And we're talking like he goes like full blown, like silk sheets too. Like he's one of those. Like, I want that smooth glide, boys. You know.
You don't hear him getting out of bed.
No, you don't hear. No. Unless it's like a whoo. Anyway.
Wow.
Listen, I don't know if you've ever slept in silk or satin sheets. I hate it, but it is smooth.
I have. They're fantastic.
Yeah. It is not my style. I give me some like high thread count cotton. You know what I mean? But that's just because I'm a sweaty boy. All right. I'm sure that's too much information for most people. V-Sword's like, click away. Nah, she's shaking her head and saying, I'm engaged. I know. Yeah, V-Sword, I'm assuming that your fiance is sweaty. All right, so let's keep going. Sorry. So you guys walk out there, and as this person looks at the two of you and kind of like realizing the highest ranking person they had seen so far, as you guys walk out there, they see the highest ranking person they've seen so far inside the barracks, and then seeing Galen walk out as well. They look at the two of you and they say, sir, do you serve with Champion Tristan?
Yes, we do.
He nods and says, the field commander would like to see you upstairs and in Yolanda's office. I think Yolanda's the right one.
Nope.
Yep, Yolanda's the right one. Would like to see you upstairs in Yolanda's office.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. You were wrong. Yolanda's on outside. It's Winviri.
Yeah, Winviri's office. So we'd like to see you upstairs and in Winviri's office.
I would just do the salute.
Yeah. I'd also salute and then turn on a heel to leave.
Yep. You would go to leave, and like as you guys are about to turn a corner, maybe like a good 8-10 feet away from 10-12 feet away from where they are, they would say one more time, sir.
Yes.
Gestures towards like your back as you like turn half back or whatever to look at him. Gestures towards your back and says, "You missed." And then Galen can kind of look back there and see like the still area that's a little bit wrinkly, and there's like a spot on your elbow that still has like crusted blood on it. And it's like, oh,
I got it.
Yeah. And then he'll give you a salute, and then turn and start immediately yelling at the people coming out of the barracks. So as you guys are making your way out of the, again, I feel bad that Neil wasn't here for that, but it's like
I know.
She put him in such a shitty spot, and he did absolutely everything to perfection every step of the way. It's one of those, how could she not respect him immediately afterwards, right? So anyways, so you guys go, sorry, Neil, really feel bad. But anyways, you start making your way upstairs, walking.
Congratulations, Neil.
Yeah, he's gonna have no idea what. Yeah.
Do a salute gift. Just do like salute gifts.
Oh yeah, actually, yes.
Oh, that'd be great. So anyways, so she, you guys walk your way upstairs, make your way upstairs, and when you get to the top of the stairs, you can see that. When you get to the top of the stairs and you go make your way down the hall to where it is, once you're actually in line of sight of the room where you had that meeting the day prior, the evening prior, you can see that there is a single guard standing outside that room that doesn't look like one of the guards you had seen beforehand. They're even dressed a little bit differently. And then you could also see that the other, one of the other guards that clearly is part of like the city soldiers that are here, is sitting down. That is sitting down where you guys were sitting down prior, with their weapon like 3 arm reaches out of the way off to the side. So you kind of like see that as you're approaching. So you guys make your way up towards the scenario, and of course as you're approaching, the guard that's there immediately turns, and they have what's the word I'm looking for here? They have a pike on hand, so they immediately will turn and like lower their pike, not fully at you, but get it at like a poised position where they can easily drop it to the spot where they need. Right? They shift their weight and everything, and they say rank and purpose as they give that command.
Battle Tactician Viggo Mortensen, and this is, and he'll.
Yeah, excellent Galen Idravor.
Before you even announce who Galen is, you can already see their posture changing, and they're standing and raising the pike to be once again back at their side. They give a salute, and they say the field commander was waiting your arrival. As you guys approach, they don't open the door for you. They say, "Do you have any weapons on you?"
I think we left. They didn't the guard asked us to leave our belongings and stuff.
I'm pretty sure you got your stuff back. Remember? Neil got it back.
Oh no, I meant the one who woke us up.
Correct, but he's still asking the scenario.
Oh, so we
do have we got the weapons back, right?
Correct, but you would have left them in the barracks because of what Tesh is saying.
So. No, I do not.
Okay. So do you have any weapons on you? No, I do not. They nod and say, tumultuous times. And then they will grab the handle of the door, and they will open it slightly. And as they're opening it, they just kind of like interrupt whatever's going on inside there and say, ma'am, battle tactician Viggo Mortensen. Wait, Viggo Mortensen. No. Viggo Mortensen.
Let's just roll with that. I've been rolling with that. So.
wait, Viggo, what is it?
Metahina.
Oh, Metahina. That's right. That's right. Chat, we need a reason why his last name will be Mortensen one day. Oh, sorry. I literally made a joke about Viggo Mortensen. Well, I made a Hidalgo joke recently, which has Viggo Mortensen in it literally this morning at like 5:50 a.m. To Brittany. But either way. So he says, battle tactician Viggo Metahina and Excellence Gallon of Milk.
Idravor.
And opens the door, and it doesn't seem to interrupt the conversation they're having in there. And you can hear that the... roll a sense motive as you're walking in and listening to the words being said.
Oh, that was one of those dice.
Yeah, that was a tease. Okay, Viggo unfortunately still has huge stacks. You know, like that like crusty eye crap you get in the morning. Not only on the inner eye duct area, but also the outer eye duct area. Yeah. Viggo hasn't had an opportunity to clean those out because Galen thought that'd be a little bit too intimate to clear away for him.
well, Viggo's waking up after the 48 hours awake, which it's always that like when you sleep after that long period of time, your body's like, no, take me back. I want to go back.
Take me down to the Paradox City where the grass is green and the right. No, girls are no. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Why not?
Yeah. Sorry.
Wasn't where I was going with that, but okay. Anyway.
Tesh neither likes green grass nor pretty girls. No, my apologies. So, that's okay. It's cool. I'm not judging. I believe you guys are the only ones with the hole in the ozone layer still. So welcome to Australia. So when you go in there, it's Galen that is quickly able to. Oh, are you happy with your 19, or did you want to like try to get more?
I think I'm happy with my 19.
I was gonna say it's pretty obvious what you're walking into. So
yeah,
you can see that. What's her name? At this point in time, it is Winvery. Winvery is given an explanation. Like walking in like maybe 2/3 of the way through, an explanation as to the decisions made and why they've been made, so on and so forth. But while you're hearing this explanation, you, Viggo, are reading it as very matter-of-factly. Whereas Galen, you're hearing that she is, it's one of those like, there's a bit of contempt in her tone. Like I am, like you can hear like does not like being questioned as to what has transpired, right?
Yeah. Is Yolanda here?
No. Oh, wait. Yes. Yolanda is here. Yes, my apologies. Is here. So you can see that while Winveri is sitting behind her desk, Yolanda is sitting in front of her desk, and the field commander is standing adjacent to Yolanda. So as you guys come in and the door shuts behind you, she finishes her next sentence, which is going to be something along the lines of, so the next logical step for me to do was to secure the district to ensure the facts that there was going to be zero more advancement, considering the ways that they had successfully thwarted the raid attempts in the nearby areas. She goes to take like one of those breaths because she's clearly speaking so forcefully. She's like running out of breath as she's doing so. So she pauses for like a half second to take a breath, and as she does so, Marilla says, "Enough." Gestures towards the seats to her other side and says, sit, not looking at either of you, but you very quickly realize you know who she's talking to.
Yep. Okay. Galen goes and sits.
Yep, we will sit.
So as you guys sit, she says, out of everybody inside of this room, there's one person here that had a stronger finger to the pulse of what had transpired than anybody else. I want to hear from that individual, and I want everybody to listen to that individual's words. I do not care whether or not you've heard them before. I don't think you've listened. So why don't we play through this exercise? Excellence Galen, explain what it was that had transpired from the moment that you had left Malisil Harbor heading towards the east, and what had transpired after you returned home.
Yes, sir. And I would go on to explain that. You don't
have to role play through the whole thing unless there's something that you really want to hit the nail on with role play. Otherwise, feel free to sum up. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I can't remember if there was we came up with another thing other than sir, but that's fine.
Ma'am works as well. So, but
okay, ma'am.
Yep.
And then
honestly, we should like at some point in time like do a stream where we're literally just coming up with these cool titles because no other people have opinions. Yeah. But I'm sorry. Continue, sir.
So yeah, I would just talk about the assault, the specifically like the learning about the Black Knights, learning the reason why we were going for them, went for the Black Knights. When we on the way back, the fact that the person ran, the two people ran, and that we locked down the city to try and catch them before they could alert people. Then the evidence that we provided, I would include the assassination attempt on me, but I probably wouldn't go into any more detail other than I was assassinated while getting back from where we're staying. Someone attempted to assassinate me.
So you are going to cover the detail of the attempted assassination. You're not going to keep that to yourself. And the only reason why I ask is because it seemed non-linear to everything else that was transpiring.
The reason why I'm going to include it is because of the body that that Viggo was found with, so I can include that as to why that was a thing, because that will be something that comes up. Okay. I will. He probably will mention he's not entirely sure if that's related to what was going on, but it happened, so I'm including.
Okay.
And then I would go back to. It's also why I was at the barracks, why I stayed at the barracks when all the other soldiers were pulled back, which is another reason why I'm including the thing. I will say I fled the barracks. Because I did flee the barracks. That's not lying. It's just I'm not going to go into detail how I fled the barracks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And I would also, because I everything's from my point of view here. I would be talking about the fact that it seemed like an almost coordinated attack on the barracks, because there was suddenly all the Molotovs came in at the same time, sort of thing. I'll be talking about that there was a civilian raid attempt earlier, but it was like they were scared off. So it seemed separate and different. Mm-hmm. And then everything else is just, I would say it as it is.
Okay. So as you're kind of like playing all that down and going over all the details, she then says, everything that has been said by him has either been verified or is likely to be verified in the near future. Example. There was a raid against the Black Knights camp to the east, over by a waterfall, a location that we had been scouting out to confirm for a while now. I have already sent scouts to confirm that transpired. They met me just outside of Malisal Harbor. They have confirmed that has transpired. There was a communication with Battle Commander Rylor to do this raid. I have paperwork in his handwriting and signatures and coordination and reports heading to me, albeit in a somewhat...
One thing I want to add real quick.
Destroyed.
I would have also definitely mentioned all the details about the individual that was burning the evidence in the office.
Of course,
and
of course.
About that. I'm just making sure that that's very clear. He would have said that.
Albeit in a somewhat destroyed state, verifying that this was coordinated with Rylor, and we all are aware that there was execution to this plan. The building and how it was burned down was not only is verifiable by my witnessing it itself. I am already ferreting out those that witnessed its burning down, and those that those that witnessed it burning down can verify every aspect of that up until this point. What's the next thing she says? She does turn to you and says, as for so she looks full on at you, Galen, and says, you claim that these papers were being burned by another individual, but you would also claim that there was somebody who had witnessed this, an officer. Do you recall this person?
I can say that I would recognize them if I saw them again.
You knew their name. Their name doesn't matter right now. Phil. Whatever.
Oh, okay. I would say yes. It was Blah, and I would say there's
a lieutenant tactician. So we're talking somebody who's a rank beneath Jake, right? Which is why they had that
Yes, that's right.
Before.
I remember now.
Yeah. So she then turns. So when you say the person's name, she then turns to the Centurion of War and says, is Lieutenant Tactician currently stationed inside of this this location here, whatever. There's like a pause moment as she's waiting. There's like a pause, almost like she's thinking. She's like, if you cannot recall, find your documentation. It's like another second, and she says, he is. She then turns to you and says, excellent, find this Lieutenant Tactician for me.
Understood. Salute, stand up, and head out.
Okay. And you are going to, so you immediately turn and walk out.
Yeah.
She waits for the door to shut behind you, and then looks back at the Centurion of War and says to her, how the fuck dare you? So more or less wait until the non-officer was in the room.
Yep.
How the fuck dare you ferret yourself away in a secure district while the rest of the city suffers just so you can protect your own ass? And then you reach out and you grab other commanding officers from the various areas where they're conducting their investigations and securing their own districts just to bring them here to control the narrative. What excuse do you have for me not to throw the whole fucking might of Delegas at you for this? And you can see that, what the hell's her name? Winveri is, again, she's like holding back. Actually, Jake, I need two things from you. During that whole thing, the whole Gallon situation, I need from you a will save. This is not against any abilities or whatever. It's literally just you forcing your minds to wake up. It's just you being 100% fully alert, not groggy anymore. It's fine. So again, it's not particularly difficult. So you are force yourself to wake up. You're alert. You're there. Partway through that meeting, you finally got like jolts of like, I'm present now. So you're good.
Imagine as soon as the door shut and she really started in, he's like, okay.
Oh, yeah, formalities are over.
So you can go ahead and roll me a sense of motive, sir.
Yep.
Oh,
there we go.
That's you're reading you're reading this. So this is what you're getting. The COW is fuming. They are fuming because obviously, like, every aspect of all the decisions they made, and in their minds, they made, like, you can tell in their minds, they made all the logical decisions that needed to be made up until this point, right? They did what they needed to do to secure the city and blah, blah, blah. And they're being treated like borderline a traitor, right? Like, and you can see that they are fuming to the point where, you know, the wrong trigger or the right trigger, depending on what your situation might be, this person might break and go way out of line. Like, it's one of those things where the right trigger could cause this person just fucking snap. So you're reading that off of them. You can see that while Marilla is throwing absolute anger, that she's throwing this. At first, you thought that, you know, this is just like a tactic of hers. But as you're like where you're sitting, kind of like almost like a half step behind her, but beside her, because you're sitting, you have a more line of sight to like the center part of her body. No, you ain't staring at that booty. But you can see that her fist is clenched, like her hand that's tucked slightly behind her. Her fist is clenched and somewhat quivering. Like, you can see that even though she is being very forceful in this scenario, she is holding back. Whether it be she doesn't like this kind of confrontation because of the social anxiety that all people get from most confrontations, or maybe it's just like unbridled rage. She's just trying to hold it back as much as possible. But you can see like a white-knuckled quivering hand with the one tucked behind her, but the one that's in front of her is holding almost perfectly steady as she's like making her various hand gestures, like accusational kind of hand gestures at Winvery sitting there. You also can see that Yolanda, who is to your side, because she's also similarly a half step as you kind of like, you know, turn your head, you know, 45 degrees towards her and like give her like a sideways glance, she is lapping it up. Now, mind you, never did Yolanda come off to you as somebody that is kind of like a sycophant for this, or somebody that wants to be lording over. She actually seems like a respectful and professional individual. But the sheer fact that she was treated the way she was in the past, you know, 24, 48 hours, like the 24 hours, we'll say, like watching this play out, it's like, absolutely, like, how dare you do this to me? You are getting what's coming to you. So she is like lapping it up to the point where, once again, you wouldn't be surprised if she also similarly was triggered to go a little too far. You know what I mean? Like, to slip up because she's like in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you are finally alert. Your mind is with you. You are able to analyze this whole thing as you are quietly sitting there and watching this. You've literally, I don't think you've said a word since you came in and sat down, right? So you had that moment. So she gives that like accusational commands and requests for explanation from Winvery. Like, why should I not, you know, throw the full weight of Delagus at you for your actions? And then, so there's like a 3 or 4 second pause. And it's just like pure silence in the room. Feel free, Jake, if you want to interject at any point in time, if there's something that you have in mind. But I assume not at this point, so I'm going to push on.
Just wait. Because I need to see if this is something Viggo would do or that I want to do.
Sure.
Because I mean, I've got that she's so close to being pushed over the edge. That's the thing. She's so close.
Yep.
But I can't say anything. But do I flash her a smile? Do I flash her a smile?
Oh.
It's up to you. Do you want to contemplate why I get started?
I know. Yeah,
because this is like a full 4 second pause.
I want to, but he wouldn't do it.
No, hold on. I understand you're saying you, Jake, wants to, but your character Viggo wouldn't.
Yeah.
What alignment is Viggo? Are you lawful neutral?
Lawful neutral.
Yeah. See, it's one of those things where just alignment on the nose, though. Alignment is a. For
some reason I'm neutral, but Viggo is lawful neutral. I don't know why it's neutral.
Oh, it's probably just either changed with an update or what have you. So,
no,
Jake wants it to happen. Viggo does.
Viggo wants it to happen, but at the same time, it respects his superiors in the chain of command.
Yep.
Hopefully Yolanda does something.
So are you saying Viggo wants it to happen?
Yeah, but this like commander was more or less trying to lay the blame on them. But at the same time, Viggo is just he's not that person.
Okay. So why don't we go ahead and I'm going to flip this around instead of like you having the choice if you want to or not, because it's something that Viggo really wants to do and he's trying to hold himself back. Holding composure is it's one of two ways. It's either bluff or diplomacy. Bluff is if you're trying to hide something that's overwhelming, and diplomacy is if you're trying to put a strong foot forward, like a more natural one, as opposed to like hiding something that you're guilty for. So I would say this is a diplomacy check for you to try to just hold the social like responsibility in this scenario. Not the correct phrase, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right.
Holy fuck.
Bro, you keep it on lockdown. You look so good right now. Like even if Marilla were to turn and look at you, she would see that your poise, your posture, like your more or less deadpan expression, but interest. Like you more or less you're sitting there like, I am just here to follow orders. I'm just here to see how this plays out for the good of Paradel, right? Like you are very much putting a strong foot forward, but at the same time, you are absolutely not slipping that trigger to Inveri. Okay, cool. Now that has been settled. So you, there's no diffusing. So as that 4-second gap passes, as she's really struggling, and we've all been in these scenarios where you're like in an argument or you're being accosted by a superior or what have you, and you have to like really struggle to get your words together before you speak. So she's definitely in the scenario, and she says, I believe my actions and the result of those actions speak for themselves. This area of Melisal Harbor is perfectly secure to the point where there are 0 citizens in harm's way. There is 0 crime activity that has taken place in the past 24 hours since we have since we had completed the lockdown completely, and we've used this base of operations to then expand that control outwards. A few of the areas surrounding this one had their raid attempts fail, either because they were adequately prepared for a raid attempt as their own procedural preparations, or they were tipped off to the raid in advance through either scouting or information from various other spies that they have inside of our network. I have secured those locations as well. And it's one of those things where, once again, with your high check there, you can see she's like fighting against the, how dare you question? Like she's really, really fighting against it. You can see like the welling up in the eyes, not like crying because like sadness, like, but just that like emotional, like, oh dear, like it's like you can see it welling up. Again, like we all get. I remember the first time I yelled at my boss. Oh God. I fucking after I walked out of that room, I literally went out back and had to clear away tears because I was
the afterwards you just
like I'm an adult. You it is your responsibility to oversee my position if you're my boss. I get that, and sometimes I'll make mistakes because I'm a human and mistakes happen, and sometimes those mistakes are more severe than others, and so you need to have a like a checkpoint or a reprimanding kind of conversation for that. I respect all of that. I understand how structure works, right? But I'm a fucking adult, and you will always speak to me with respect. And when I got yelled at, I literally got yelled at. I interrupted the yelling at one point in time with yelling back, like, how fucking dare you raise your voice to me? Like, it was one of those, like, oh! like after I came back in from outside, all the cooks on the line were looking at me like, I don't raise my voice for any reason. I don't. Like, I am always happy. I've never raised my voice to an employee before. So they came back in, and they were looking at me like, oh, shit. You could hear it through that door. So anyways, I say first time. There's maybe the only time There were other times we argued, but I think it was the only time I ever yelled at a boss. But either way, moving on. So, oh God, Uno is South Portland, Maine. Mark Glidden. I will always remember it. Like, I'll always remember it. I'll always remember it. Sorry. Where were we? So yeah, you can see she's holding back as she gives that explanation. And so again, there's about a 1 second pause for Marilla before she snaps back. And then what excuse do you have for why it is that you chose to take the battle Centaurian and lock her inside of her chambers so she could not go out and adequately look after the responsibilities that she had between the time that she came to report to you at your request and the time that I arrived? And similarly, why did you take the Lieutenant Centaurian, the battle tactician here, and remove him from the investigative work that he was doing into the death of the battle commander and the treacherous activities of his subordinate? And again, it's like her raising her voice. And at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and have a composure check be rolled by somebody in chat. But because I know Jake is frothing at the rim of his mouth here, you could choose who rolls for this. It's a D20.
I mean, I gotta go with Viking. It was a close one because you Steve with the chaos. You know what I mean? That was a tough one.
You got to roll low. True blue. So. Ooh,
it's right on the edge.
It's right on the edge. She's also right on the edge, but unfortunately, it's not worse than 50-50 for her, right? Like 50-50 is borderline because she's clearly earned her rank for a reason, right? So she's what, like 2 or 3 ranks above Jake, maybe even more than that. Let me look. She's 1, 2, 3 ranks above Jake. So she's clearly earned her ability there, right? So anyways, so she, as she gets like that, once again, accusational thing there. So this time there's like a 7 second pause as this happens. But you can see
that. Can I try and affect it? Can I?
How
if
so?
I see she's like really on the edge, can I catch Yolanda's eye at all?
Oh. To pass an innuendo is a bluff die. So this is like one of those, if you're trying to be very discreet, but give like a to like across the way, that's a bluff. So you don't want her to see you, you just want her to see you. Innuendo rolls are bluff rolls. In 3.0, it was its own skill.
I
won't lie,
I'm not doing anything massively overt.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
Right,
it's literally one of those, you're literally just trying to do that. Like,
it's almost like just your eyes are just...
You know, like if you're driving in the back of the car with your sibling and your dad is mad about something, and so you catch the eye of your sibling and you're both like, yeah. Like one of yeah. An experience Rory will never have. Oh. Are you satisfied with your 23, sir? 25 is pretty
perfect.
solid.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting caught. No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, I watched my camera change color then. No, that's good. I agree.
So I will be honest. She has a good sense motive. Again, look at the position that she's in. So as an NPC with a solid sense motive, I'm going to say that she has a plus 13. So for her on the other side to see if you were also a part of this whole thing, not the field commander. Sure, her back is to you. So I will allow Tesh to choose somebody in chat to roll a d20 plus what did I just say? 13. So 12 or higher, and she notices your part in this.
I'm gonna go green for this one.
Okay, so green wants to roll low to defend Jake, high.
Steve's rolling high. Sorry, I'd pick you, but you rolling high. Oh no!
Wait. Hang on. The I can't be seen by what's her name, right?
No.
Not the field
is
commander.
Winviri is seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Winviri hears this, and there's again that like 6-7 second pause between like the next explain yourself or what you did with these other officers. And during that like 5 or 6 seconds into it, you kind of look over and catch eye, and you look back, And you notice that as you like catch eye and then you look back, you realize now she's boring into you.
Yeah.
And you can see full eye contact. And that's when you realize, I just made an enemy. You know what I mean? Like, beforehand it was she was making decisions. Now it's like you can see that the fire in her eyes are personal. Right? So the downside is that while Yolanda is absolutely going to make the action that would otherwise trigger her, she is now bored in onto you. She is locked in onto you, and she finishes her calculation. And while she's
if this is the case, if she's fully looking at me, she's still close. I have to let out the small smile. I have to at this stage. But as soon as if that battle commander moves like an inch, not even an inch, a millimeter, it's one of those half smiles. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When someone's like staring straight at you, yeah, I can understand not being able to resist that.
So if you're trying to do that, that's almost like an intimidation. You're trying to tweak that last nerve. It's like an intimidation as a because not diplomacy. You're not being charming or convincing or positive. Well, I mean,
it's a very charming smile. It's a charming smile.
It's not charming. It's either that or it's bluff. Because once again, you're trying to
let me bluff.
You're manipulating the scenario, but you're not doing so in a positive way. You're trying to be bad here.
Yeah.
So either one of those. It's an insolence check. I'm sorry these seconds are taking several minutes to explain.
Give it to me.
All right, baby. Lube it up. All right, so you guys don't do daddies, but I assume you're happy with your 32.
Yeah.
So you look over, you catch eye.
Come on, Scott.
You look back, she's boring into you. She draws her breath to speak. And you give her that small little twitch of a smile for we're talking like a half second. Like
a twitch. Yeah,
you almost like when you snort and catch yourself laughing, but more subtle and physical than that, right? All right. Yeah. So as you do that, she's drawing in her breath to say the words, and to say the words, and then whatever she was going to say, it just completely flips on her head, and she goes, she starts like the first two words looking at you, then looks up to make eyes with Marilla, and she says, I don't, then looks up, understand why it is that I'm the one that's being questioned here when I have already proven my worth, proven what I've done. As I've said, my actions have already spoken for themselves. There is a dead battle commander, and the only person that's had their hands on the body is that man right there. Have we not looked into the fact that he has dissected the battle commander and has done everything to try to place the evidence where and when they want it to be seen and how it is they want it to be seen? They were involved in every aspect of this up into the point where the battle commander died. And since then, they even worked closely with ... Vilfine, prior to the execution of this plan that had put tons of our soldiers to rest. Sure, absolutely. Most of the members of the Black Knights were killed, but, and then before she can say any more, Marilla says, that's enough. You were relieved to go and sit in your quarters. She says, you were relieved to your quarters until I call upon you. And there's like that moment of just shock and silence. And she once again, this time she leans forward. Once again, you can see her hand is clenched behind her. Her hand in front of her, placed on the desk. And she leans forward several inches and says, I do not give orders twice. And then there's again a several second pause. And then, what's her name? Winvery says, I don't think you have grasp of this situation, sir. And then stands up and immediately turns to walk out. And leaves as she opens the door to leave the room, she will say to the guard that's outside of the room, she will say, escort her to her quarters and make sure she does not leave them. She will stay as a treasured guest for now. And the piked guard outside, pikeman outside, nods, yes, ma'am, and turns and walks off with them. She will then turn around, walk over, and go ahead.
Read what Green said. That's a fantastic line.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She then will turn around, walk over slowly, and again, it's a very measured step. It's as I've said before, and Jake, when you made that check, you can still see her clenched fist, especially as she walks away. You can, as she walks past you, obviously not turning around to watch her. You can hear the measured footfalls and the slow footfalls as she goes. This is very practiced. This is very like, I have control right now, right? So she walks over, she shuts the door gently. You can hear it click shut as it closes gently. And then she turns, takes there's a breath that you can barely hear her take behind you. And then she turns, walks around and takes a seat at the desk. And then looks at the two of you and says, I've received the report. I have been explained everything by Warden Tristan, which is news to
Yeah.
by Warden Tristan. Are there any other details that you feel as though you need to report to me in greater? Any other details you want to need to report to me in person, so that I may have those as I make my decisions and look further into the situation moving forward? And she looks to the two of you, and Yolanda kind of sits back into her seat and says, because obviously you're going to let her speak first. Yolanda sits back in her seat and says, no, ma'am. Truth be told, I think you have a much more firm grasp of the situation than even I do. You've been fully debriefed on everything that I believe I would be able to bring to the table. If you have any further questions, I'd be more than happy to provide any additional information or clarity as you see fit. For now, again, no, ma'am. And then she'll then turn her eyes over to you, Viggo.
Yeah. So Galen explained everything. He even explained the part about like getting the Arcane Congress there and like confirming and stuff and all that stuff, right?
Yes, I would have. Yeah. I would have said.
I mean,
that
everything.
It was from Galen's point of view, so it would have been once. I would be explaining how I learnt that's what's been happening there at the scene, because I had to give everything first person. But I would have explained all of that from there, because I would even have explained that the Arcane Congress individual was there waiting for the partners to come and give permission and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing really else to say, so Viggo will say, no, ma'am. I can provide you a full report with everything that has been said here for you to look at if you need to reference anything, and I am here to clear anything up that you may want to know.
She nods and says, she looks to you, Viggo, and says, you're not from Delegas, so you have zero contacts, allies, or what have you in Malisal Harbor or anywhere beyond. Is this correct?
This is.
I need you to report back to the Faded Glory and acquire for me a few of the soldiers that were part of the initial raid, the ones that served under the battle commander. I need them to come before me and to give their first-hand account of everything that has transpired, especially those that remained in post or place as you did your various detective work since then. I would like them to have zero coaching as to what to say. I don't want you putting any words in their mouth, and I will look into that personally.
Yes, ma'am. May I send Galen so I don't even come into contact with them?
She shakes her head no and says, he has other responsibilities. There was an assassination attempt against him. I'm going to need to know further details about the individual that attacked him, where, when, how, why, and so on, as well as the details of what he had seen. Watching somebody attempt to burn our paperworks and then the building is a tad more important.
Yes, ma'am. No, I'll turn to leave.
Yeah, it's one of the. You can you understand that you're dismissed, so stand up.
Am I able to have any Am I able to take any guard from here with me?
You can. It's one of those you can salute and then you can ask that or ask that before you salute or whatever.
I definitely will. I'll say, am I able to take a guard or two with me from here?
She actually contemplates. She actually like thinks about it for a couple seconds. Since either of you have arrived, have you noticed any strange activity or overt loyalty? Overt loyalty specifically to the Centurion of War, as compared to Paradel.
Viggo obviously looks to Yolanda because of the way that they treated them when they got there.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll like open it up almost like for her to speak.
Yolanda
she had that argument with them at the door.
Correct. Yolanda would say it's hard to answer that, ma'am. They seem to be soldiers that were simply following orders. At one point in time, they were convinced to breach their orders for sensibility and returning to us some of our belongings. But beyond that, it is difficult to say. If I had to make an educated guess, I would say that they were following orders, not necessarily with overt loyalty, at least not most of them. She'll turn to Viggo just to see if you confirm.
Yeah, he just more or less acknowledges what she said is true.
Then
I can't remember any that acted against Paradel's interest.
No, but more or less, yeah. There were those that were like, "You will not take." I command them. And they're like, "Yeah, but you know, like." So, anyways, so she says, "You will not be welcome to take any of my personal guard, but you can take a couple of the soldiers that are here. Do you think 4 is enough?"
Yes, ma'am.
She nods and says, "May Lady Aravel guide the path before you."
He repeats whatever that.
No, you
just. Do we know what the reply is yet?
No. Again, you don't have to repeat that because that's a religious thing, but you don't have to do it. So, anyways, you can just.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
cool.
That's what I'll do.
So, and you'll go. Awesome. And then she waits for you to shut the door behind you. To which the only person outside the door right now is the guy that's sitting there with his weapon. A couple of knocks to the side. So like, there's a soldier there if you want that one, or you could just leave them there with their weapon placed 3 arms length to their side. Mm-hmm. Do you want to take that one, or do you just leave him?
He should guard the door.
Okay. Do you tell him
leave that guy. I don't change his orders.
Okay.
I'm not giving him new orders.
Okay.
He's obviously there for a reason.
Yep. You just come out of the principal's office and you look and see the next one in line waiting. And you're like, "Oh my God, that's the kid that spray painted the wall." And like, you start to like walk away, like, "Oh, he is." So, anyways, you turn and you go to walk out. I just need from you really quickly a sense motive as you're trying to find other soldiers. This is with a penalty. More or less, I'll adjust the DC. I would have had you roll a professional soldier check, but you suck ass. So you're like, "I'm an officer, not a soldier." So.
Well, he did skip the soldiering part, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he still did go through boot camp. I'm just saying,
but not as intensely as some of the other people in Inclame.
I'm just saying, Jake full on Trump lips, you know, his face up to a sphincter and sucks, you know, just like.
Oh God.
Well, 100%. He sucks ass. So, absolutely. What? I'm just saying, if you didn't have a hemorrhoid before, you will when he's done. So.
Oh God. Right.
So. Hi, Brittany.
The best timing ever. And I'm going to use that as an opportunity to quickly be right back. That was so perfect.
Oh my God. Like, all of a sudden I hear, "Oh!" And I look over and then the curtain swings open. It's like, I feel bad for these people. Why would you use those words? Oh my God. That was amazing. That was, oh my God. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sweating from that laughter. All right. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, what's it? Let me just answer something really quickly.
I have. That was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so my apologies.
Just so you know, we could hear that from the side, and the second I heard it, I was like, "Oh no!"
It genuinely shocked me because I usually know when Brittany's coming downstairs because the laundry room's over there, but like there's no switch to the laundry room just because like it's not a real laundry room. It's like more or less fake walls were put up to section off a part of the basement that has the washer and dryer in it. So like the switch to go into the laundry room as you're coming down to the basement. On your like the wall when you're coming down to the basement on your left, there's a switch there, to which then you have to like walk around 3 corners to then go into the laundry room. So like the switch comes on while she's still like away. So I usually see the light turn on before she's here. So that means that she must have heard it and like ran over to acknowledge it prior to going over and turning the light on. Like she walked past the light switch just to react.
Given what you were saying.
Yeah. All right, so anyways, Jake, you go ahead and roll a sense motive. A 20 is a decent roll. I imagine you're satisfied with that?
Yeah. I mean, I can't hit in any other tiers. I mean, yeah, I'm good.
Thanks, V-Sword. Gotcha. Okay, so so you go over, you get those 4 people, and you bring them with you as you start heading out to go and acquire somebody. Obviously, you don't get any more details of what's happening inside the office. For acquiring people that were over there, this is a gather information. It's investigative work. So you can go ahead and roll a diplomacy check to investigate those that were there, what they witnessed, so on and so forth. While you're there, you're asking questions, not delivering answers as you're trying to find this out. This does take a period of time. So again, it is a diplomacy check. You do have a +5 because you were... in the scenario. So you can add a +5 and roll for me. I understand. Okay.
Let me see, +5.
Just responding to somebody.
You're good.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm not diplomacy.
So that diplomacy is really nice. That's with a +5. So you walk around and pretty swiftly you find out who it is that has the information and whatnot that you need. With a check that high, honestly, I'm not even going to have you roll a die. I'll just assume it's a 1 because this is relatively easy to do, right? Like people want to report what had transpired with the battle commander or what have you, right? So you're probably going to get up a couple of witnesses. Some of them probably actively stationed there right now. Others probably on their off duty, like sleeping in a nearby area. So you like go and acquire that person and like kind of like wake them up and ask them, like, get dressed now, I need you. So the whole thing from like the moment that you actually get there, acquiring who these people are is pretty clean and quick. So it takes you exactly an hour. But then there's also traveling there and back and blah, 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 blah. So you end up coming back about 2 hours later. No die roll needed. So that being said, going back to Tesh, who did not go as far, will not be gone as long. Your responsibility is to go and find the lieutenant tactician, I think is what they are, that was there in that scenario. Similarly, you're going to go ahead and roll a diplomacy check. You already know this person's here. You already know their name. So you already know where they are. So because it makes it easier. I'll give you a +5 on this one as well.
Hey. Good. I need it. That modifier is now a 5.
Nice. I like that you don't put ranks into it. I like that you remain sucky at it. It just makes sense
he
for your
wouldn't.
character.
Yeah.
Because your character is so matter of fact and doesn't sugarcoat and try to say things in nice ways. So
yeah.
So to me, that makes sense. For you, I just wish that you could schism gather information as a separate skill. So you could... I
know, because that would be what I would go into, because he's definitely a gather information sort of person.
So one of the things that Pathfinder integrated at one point in time is something called lore, the lore skills. It's to have like more. It's more or less you have more ranks, but not proper skill ranks, so like weak skill ranks that work on skills that are like more or less a fourth or like a third of an actual skill. In my opinion. I like the idea of like, I shouldn't be good at diplomacy, but I got to be good at this, or I shouldn't be good at like intimidation in general, but I'm good at this. Like, I'm fine with the idea of schisming for additional abilities. It's just, it makes things a little bit more complicated. So, you know, either way.
Yep.
It's like one of those, like, my character's not charismatic. Like, they're not charismatic, but I need it for the class that I'm playing, you know? So,
yes, exactly.
Moving on. So you, so to find this, because 15 is not a huge check by any stretch of the imagination, it's going to be a 1d4 times 10 minutes to find this individual and get them back. You can ask somebody in chat, or you can do it.
You know what? I'll let Steve do it this time. We'll see how long it takes.
Steve. D4, thank you.
So it was 1d4 plus what?
It's times 10 minutes, so he's just doing a d4.
Times 10. 1d4 times 10. No matter what, I'm getting it done before
Viggo gets back.
So 30 minutes, that's fine. Yeah.
So about a half hour from the moment that you walk away from that office to the moment that you like walk back in, give or take a couple extra minutes, right? So nice and quick. So you come back about a half hour later, and when you come back with this soldier to knock on the door, like there's no guard standing outside of it right now.
Oh, nobody there's no guard outside of it right now.
There's no guard. Yep. So
okay,
you knock twice, maybe even wait and knock a third time after like a minute or so waiting. Nobody answers the door.
So they obviously have like the pause, and then just they might have changed room. There would be where would be the nearest person that was set up to do any sort of like paperwork or anything, because I assume someone would have been set up nearby.
Sure. I mean, you did not troll through this place very long, but you can literally ask the lieutenant tactician.
Yeah, I could just ask him. Yeah,
and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, over here," and they'll bring you. It's like more or less down like another hallway. Like we're talking like a 30-second, 45-second walk from where you are. So like it's one of those their doors open. So it's one of those like lean in, knock knock as you step in. And you can see this again, another lieutenant tactician that happens to be inside here handling this responsibility for them.
I'll do a brief sort of salute. Do you know where the field commander is? I was ordered to retrieve this individual for them.
She is overseeing the district, securing the facilities, locating soldiers to different areas and what have you. If you head outside, I'm sure somebody could direct you to her. Is there something I could assist you with, soldier?
Perfect. Nope, that sounds perfect. Thank you.
Nods. You make your way downstairs. You see Triss.
I didn't hear. I didn't hear about it, so I'm just. I would just do the whole like exhausted nod, just like from the other side of the room as we're passing. She's like, and we're going. Get the full conversation later.
He'll give you a happy smile and that look that says, "Bro, we getting drinks later." Like,
yeah. No, honestly, he would like do the nod and then this little smile, like yep, and then continue walking.
Okay. So
yeah, things have gone well so far now. So we're sounding like we might actually get rest soon, which he's happy about.
So you go walking out with this lieutenant tactician, and as you're walking out, you're trying to find out where she is. You don't need to make a check. Again, another 10 minutes or so later, you're going to be able to find out where the district she is and make your way over to her. She makes her presence known, right? And
yes.
but one of these, but just to gauge the scenario, go ahead and roll me a profession soldier check.
Yep.
So just to illustrate how transformational things have happened, you can already see those 4x4s that are in the scenario have been broken down to 2x2s. Sorry. The 2x2s, groups of 4, are broken down to 1x2s. Like it's just groups of 2 walking around patrolling the areas around here, right? You can already immediately see that, and you see them less often than you were seeing beforehand. So clearly she's already started pushing soldiers to other areas to go handle other stuff. Anyways, you come walking up to like you're standing in an alleyway. You can see where she is sitting on top of her horse, making her way to oversee whatever particular area she's walking into, which is technically just outside of the district that she was in prior, but like along the border of the two different districts, giving commands there. As you're walking up, you suddenly feel in your mind a very familiar feeling. It's familiar in the sense that all of a sudden you feel entangled, you feel engaged, you feel almost pulled back into the network that you are so familiar to being in beforehand. You can feel the comfortable level of connectivity to those that you spent so much time training with prior to your assignment out this direction. Your allies that you had seen outside of Magadan, right? So you can feel that connection, and as you feel that connection, I imagine you immediately look around.
There definitely would be like a just instinctual look around to see if I can see what's going on.
Roll a perception check.
Ooh, that's a low perception for me.
Are you satisfied with your 19?
You know what? I'm gonna roll luck so I can make it to the. Oh, we only have one left. No, I want to make this check. This is important for Galen.
Okay.
I made it to 20.
Well, don't forget they're really good at hiding. Like, you guys were attack force for a reason. You're good at that kind of stuff. Every once in a while I look at the time, and I know that I usually get emails between 9 and 10, and then I see like it's 8:40. I'm like 20 minutes away. I literally looked at if you saw my eyes from a second or so from before I started saying this, I looked down, saw 8:40. My heart and stomach just jumped and lurched. I took a breath, and then I explained where my mind just went. Okay, sorry. Just so
Don't
much.
have to apologize.
Oh, my wife apparently is playing school in the basement with Rory in the room over there. I didn't realize Rory was that close in proximity. Had I known that, I probably would have cleaned up my speech a little bit. I still have the curtain. I haven't built the door yet. That's going to be a project in the next month and a half or so.
Yep.
So, whoopsie. So, Rory's sick again. Poor kid. Poor kid.
Thing.
It was a great excuse for me to get out of work a little bit early, though, to make sure I was on time for my interview yesterday. But either way. All right. So, where was I?
I was looking around and got a 20 perception.
So you see them off to the side. So once again, you see looking into an alleyway. You could see. I'm terrible at names, so I do apologize. I think Minerva was the one that was the leader and maintained the connectivity. And then you see the guy that is the warrior one that's standing next to her. And then you know that Gerfon, yeah. And no, Gerfon is actually the super athletic one, right?
Oh, so, right. So I think you gave me a name for the other one,
which is a lady, I believe.
Oh, okay, yes. No, actually, I don't think I put down a name for that one because Minerva and Gerfon were the ones that were named in the last meeting.
And Gerfon is the super athletic
three
one.
People.
Yeah,
sir.
Because I'm pretty sure Gerfon is the one that chased down what's her name for a hot minute there. Chased down Rena's character for a hot minute before on the rooftops. A different campaign a long time ago. So either way, so Gerfon, so you see the two of them standing in the alleyway, giving you that knowing look. And you see Gerfon, it's one of those, where's Gerfon? And you look around for a second, and you see opposite the alleyway up onto a rooftop, you see him similar to how you do things. He's posted up there and just kind of crouched down to try to stay out of view. And you look up, and as you're looking to see where he is, he kind of rises up a little bit and gives you and then drops back down, so he's hard to see again.
Knowing what's knowing that how things are happening, I would just, because I can't give them a response right now for reasons which I can talk with them later. I would look forward again back to where we're walking, and I assume the LT's behind me because we're walking. I'm taking him to the commander.
Yeah. He we're talking besides
so
slash
I
half
would
step,
look forward again and just sort of and then continue walking, which wouldn't mean anything to the LT, but of them watching me is probably gonna
But you also know because of the way that she works, because I think technically the class is called tactician. You know the way that works. That's why you guys have that like woven interconnectivity, and she's so easy.
They would understand why. Yeah,
you can literally just portray an emotion. You can just portray pride and loyalty, and they would like understood. And kind of like, and you can literally, once you do that, you can see they hang back. It's one of those, like, if they were like leaning out to be seen, they kind of like do that like 1.5 step or whatever, lean back to make sure they kind of like fade back into the shadows. So they're not so easily noticed. And then like, as they do that, you can also feel a sense of like urgency from them, just like suggesting soon, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. Anyways, so you make your way up to the field commander. And you wait your turn, and she finishes giving her orders to those around, and then we'll turn to look at you and say, "Is this the lieutenant tactician?"
Correct, field commander. This was the individual that witnessed the events at the office. And I would deliberately only say that because I know it's likely this guy didn't know that crystal person was me, so I don't want to flavor his representation, because I've described my abilities, at least the fact that I have the crystal abilities to the field commander in the other speech.
Wait,
because I had to talk about flying. So
did you? I don't think you had to talk about flying. Did you?
I would have said that I used my abilities because I have abilities.
Yeah, but would you have talked about flying specifically? Is that a detail that you would necessarily had to have given?
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe I wouldn't mention that. Then I can explain the crystal things when it comes up, but I would just say my abilities, because I want to specifically want her to know that I haven't tainted this person, because they may not know that I'm the individual that they're talking about, and I want them to give a full accurate report of it.
So she says, "Give me a full report of what transpired all of yesterday, from the moment that you woke to the moment that you slept last night." And he spends the next 10 minutes or so. He's not the best at delivering succinct information like Viggo is, or Gallon is very quickly learning to be good at, because Gallon is good at like giving succinct information with a combination of spoken word and translated like telepathic ability through his own channels before. So he's maybe a little bit more verbose. This guy's more like me. He's blathering on. So So anyways, she, man, I really have to adjust this chair some. So she says, more or less give that explanation. And so he does. He explains the whole scenario and everything that transpired, explains the fact that, the people were brought in, that they were supposed to be doing research. They were doing research with Viggo. Viggo had to leave for XYZ, that they were then found with like a glittery material around them and sleeping. You had stopped this crystal person from trying to burn down a whole bunch of objects that were there, and the crystal person was there, and the other individual that you actually caught with, I think, a clothesline or whatever. All that stuff. I forget, that person never got killed. They actually got captured, right?
They didn't get killed. I did non-lethal, but their knee is gone.
Yeah, that's right. They got hospitalized, right?
Specifically, what he saw was me holding a sheet or a curtain over the fire, and he thought I just want that to be clear, because this was the guy that thought, oh, he's trying to burn the evidence.
Yeah. But you're talking about the crystal person, yes. So if you're not trying to flavor the conversation at all or direct his thing, if you're not interrupting in the least bit, he explains it in a way that makes that person the worst and the other person look bad. You know what I mean? Like one of those, if she only had his one-sided explanation of the crystal person.
But I would have also given, like in the other speech, I would have told her exactly how it played out, in that I went to put out the fire as this person came out and saw me over the fire.
Yep. Like I said, if it was only his scenario, right? Yeah, they would look bad.
I specifically am not coloring at all because I don't want to.
Yep, I understand.
I understand his is going to be fairly that sided, but I've given my point so she can make the decision.
Cool. So anyways, yep, you are going to then continue he continues explaining everything. The fact that person's captured, where it is they happen to be detained at the moment, kind of everything that transpired up to Viggo commanding them to, to take the soldiers, so on and so forth. When he commanded the Viggo commanded to take soldiers, roll a sense motive for me. While you're rolling that sense motive, one of the things he says is he does phrase it in such a way that is a little bit ambiguous, like maybe Viggo commanding him to take the soldiers is what kind of led to the place being left unguarded, so that the place burned down because of those actions. With that sense of motive there, we both know you can't modify it. With that sense of motive there, you can tell just by listening to the way that he spoke and the fact that you were in that meeting earlier, you're like, this sounds as though perhaps his own opinions have been flavored up until this point by the Centurion of War, because likely she spoke with them and gave her analysis. And it's
so as to not, so as to not color, but I also want him to clarify for the sake of the field commander. I'll actually say, can you clarify how many soldiers the BT took?
If I remember, it was like 4 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want him to point out.
Just so you know. Look, I just need to weigh in here in case you've forgotten, Scott. I took them because the battle commander was dead.
Yeah.
To secure the site. Just saying.
I'm fully aware.
No.
All that's being translated.
I'm just trying to. The only way that I'm coloring it is I'm trying to make sure the fact that he's coloring it doesn't outweigh the actual facts, which is why I got him to clarify on the only 4 soldiers, even though he made it sound like a lot more. Yeah. And then I let him continue.
4 could be what stops a riot, So it could be the turning point, right? So anyways,
but the field commander would understand why I'm doing that.
When you want to interject and acquire that information, that's going to be a legit diplomacy check, a normal one. As you're more or less like, I'm sorry, sir, can you clarify how many soldiers that the battle tactician took?
No, that was mean. That was mean.
So when you say, I'm sorry, sir, can you clarify? As you're saying that, the field commander says, wait your turn. Interrupting understood. You.
I would say understood.
Because that's the first time you heard the weight of her tone at you. It was one of those
with that, I would deliberately not talk again.
Yep. But he finishes the whole explanation and what have you. She then nods and says, thank you for the report. Finds that prisoner and bring them to me. And then looks to you and says, can you think of anybody else that would be able to provide additional information for what it is that had transpired that I should speak to immediately before we move on to the next step?
Yes, there was another LT. This is me clarifying in my mind that I'm correct. There was another LT, the one that let me stay when they were all ordered to leave.
That was him.
That's a different LC. That was him?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was him. Yeah.
I thought it was a different person. Oh, okay. So he would have given the report of that as well then, that I stayed when everyone else was left. Yeah.
Of course.
No, I believe that is all of the information. And I apologize for my interjection.
She says, everyone makes mistakes. It's whether or not they make them again. And then she says, there was an attempted assassination against you, and you were able to thwart this attempt and to defeat your opponent, correct?
Correct.
What do we know about this individual?
BT Viggo managed to actually complete a full autopsy on the individual. They appeared strange and had abilities like mine, but more powerful. That is why I brought the body.
You often reference your abilities, but I don't understand what makes you so unique. Are you not trained to have magical capability?
So this is one of those things that's like, I can't go into detail about the stuff, but I can say
you can literally say things like, "I'm sorry, ma'am. That's classified information. I will provide for you the information that I am, at liberty to do. At liberty to."
Yeah. Then I will give that response.
Yeah. Yep. She looks dissatisfied as any other boss that asks for something, and you more or less like. It's
but I would have someone I could like refer her to.
Of course,
I assume there's like I would give who would it be that I would Jen Mullis. I would refer you to Jen Mullis. Does she have a rank?
No. She's
No.
she's like a counselor. She's like a counselor to the military. She is not.
Okay,
she's like an
yeah.
honorary rank, but not actually a part of the
Yeah.
structure.
I will refer you to Jen Mullis if you have any more questions on my capabilities.
I'll want a full report as to who this person is, how I may acquire them, and what have you. If you have any questions on how to fill out this report, speak to Viggo. Moving on.
Understood.
What can you tell me about this individual, and why is it that they needed a full autopsy?
I'm trying to think what would be the best way to go about this. Actually, I could straight up say I've never seen anyone with their abilities or their stature. They looked Perrin, but not quite. They looked. The body is probably put back together, wasn't it? So she could probably go find it. So I would describe the way that they looked off, like they looked old but young at the same time. They didn't look natural, would be the sort of explanation, which is why I made sure to get the body to BT Viggo, because I know that his abilities of autopsy are unparalleled.
Are there any markings of faith?
None that I found, and I would actually say it because I did search him, right?
Correct.
Yeah, none that I found.
Have them transported to the crematorium so that they may be appropriately celebrated in their death in the honor of Kraleen. I will meet you at the crematorium this evening. You will show me what you mean by Perrin, but not quite.
Understood. And I would salute.
Galen, one last thing before you go. Why are you here?
I would be honest. We're here to help. Well, we're here to figure out how to remove or how to deal with, and how would he word it? Because there is a specific wording. It was remove or how to remove as an obstacle. Any of the people, any of the various groups that are here.
It's like design a plan or execute a plan. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that would actually be a better way of saying it. Design a plan or execute a plan on how to deal with the various groups, unlawful or terrorist in nature in Melisal Harbor.
She nods and says, "And you were sent here by the Dween here."
Correct.
Of course, you know him as the River King, but
knowing the situation, I wouldn't alter that. I was sent by the Dween Arrow. I'm just going to say correct.
She looks dissatisfied at that situation and says, "Is that your only task here? And I don't want any classified bullshit on this."
That is my only task. This is me talking meta. Correct. That is my only task here.
She bores into you with her eyes for like another 3 seconds just to see if there's anything else that you have to offer. And then she says...
no, I would be being completely honest, so there's nothing else.
She says, transport the body. While you're at it, the Vilfine can be transported there as well. She needs to be celebrated in the faith of Kraleen. The battle commander, if you can make arrangements to have him transported to the Temple of Lady Aravel. The Cathedral of Lady Aravel.
Yeah.
Did people not come and get the battle commander already?
They never collected the bodies.
Yeah, they were going, all that stuff would have happened except the Centurion of War stopped it all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you're able to kind of go off and do that sort of a thing. So you're actually...
I would head in that direction and then make a detour down an alley.
Okay. So you make your little detour. And again, it's one of those things where as you make your detour, Goff, I think his name is, at one point in time, as you're walking down the alleyway, you can kind of, again, you can sense the presence. You can sense almost like an alert or a warning. And then you see Goff, kind of drops down in front of you to where you are, so that you guys are face to face, and that the other two will be coming up quick behind you. So Goff drops down in front of you. Doesn't catch you off guard because you could feel the tactician's alerts. Again, not ranked tactician, to be clear. It's literally the name of a class in Pathfinder for a type of psionic character. Anyways, so he drops down, and there's that moment where he gives you that angry look. It's like that, are you fucking ready? And then half a second later, he's like, He like walks up and he pulls you in for like a tight hug, like a really tight hug.
Galen would return it.
Yeah. And he's like, how have you been, brother?
Oh, someone tried to kill me yesterday.
He nods and says,
a lot of people tried to kill me yesterday. Or was it the day before? It's kind of all blurred into one.
Yep. He nods and says, we were told.
That was one hell of a fight. The fucker stopped my heart. I didn't know that was a thing that could be done with our abilities.
I didn't know you had a heart. And so I imagine.
And then he would be like, where are the others?
You do where are the others? You turn around, you look, and they're literally walking up behind you. Yeah. You'll see the other two will come over. Minerva just gives you like a nod, obviously being your commanding officer. The other one, I can't remember her name, unfortunately. She'll walk over and she'll give you a hug as well. And she'll say,
"Are you?" Would return it.
Because she's the one that's like the healer of the group. She's the one that actually has the ability to literally kiss. The one that died before was the one that has the ability to give people fear. I can't remember the name of the class. The one that's the ability to give fear. The one that lived was your tactician, your healer.
Oh wait, so is this actually Delilah? Did they save her?
No, Delilah didn't give fear.
Okay,
Delilah had other abilities that unfortunately.
Killian was the
Dread.
one that died.
Yeah.
Dread. Yeah.
Yeah, Killian the Dread died. Yes.
Yeah.
So either way, I can't remember this one's name. Fuck. No, wait, hold on. Stop. There was only 3 left, and the Dread was the one that lived. Delilah was a healer, and she's the one that died. She's the one that disappeared. Killian was somebody else entirely that died in your backstory.
Yes, correct.
Killian died in your backstory. Delilah got captured in your backstory. Minerva is the tactician. The Dread is still here. Almost died by Rena's hands, but the attack was pulled last second.
So what was his name?
And Goff is here. What was the Dread's name?
Yeah, because I don't think I ever wrote it down. I remember there being a third person described the last time we met them, but I didn't. I don't know if there was a name given to me because I would have put it down.
Yeah. We'll think of it afterwards, but for now, just remind me later on, right? So the Dread will come forward. Like I said, I think it's actually a he, not a she. So it's Minerva and 2 dudes. So he will walk up to you and give you a small hug, not as strong of embrace as Goff. Give you a small hug and say, I'm glad you're okay. But then as soon as that happens, your mind gets absolutely flooded with the scene where your heart stopped, where like everything transpired. Like you can literally feel your heart racing. It fully, it like comes back into view, senses, smells, tastes, feelings. Everything swarms in. Will save.
Oh, lovely. My will save's pretty good. That's just hope I roll well. That's not well.
It's to the point where you're taken back to that scene, and almost like somebody waking up from night terrors, you start like reacting to it for a half second. And as you're like reacting to it or what have you for like a good second or two, finally you're like pulled out of it and you like snap and like you're catching your breath from like how intense that was as you're catching. Because of course with a night terror, it's even though it was scary in the moment, this is more scary than it was in the moment because it's fake. Like it plays up your. Anyways, you're pulled out of it with a hand on your shoulder, and you're like quickly. You're already like out of breath, and you try to catch your breath. You can feel like a firm hand on the shoulder. You whip around to look back, and it's Goff standing there, and he's giving you like an affirmative look. His face does not look happy anymore. He looks like solid, but it gives you like an affirmative nod, like I'm here, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he has a hand on your shoulder from behind, and you look back ahead, and you can see that Minerva's hand is already recoiling back from having slapped the Dread in the back of the head because where they were standing beforehand, and they're doing the whole like sorry, you know, and you can see that they're like but you know that wasn't accidental. That it's not like they're a mutant and they can't control their powers. Like that was an intentional thing. So how do you react to this?
I was just well, that fucking sucked.
They again say
yeah, he would say that and just sort of look at him, just like, what? It's like almost like, what the fuck?
They can say sorry. I was trying to see what happened, and then you understand it's like a reliving, but at the same time you're like, you motherfucking made me relive that.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where He's pissed, but not pissed enough to like change any opinions of anyone here. That's the thing. It's like, so not cool, but let's continue.
so as you finish catching your breath, they do look over to Minerva and say, "No, it was one." And her brow kind of like drops down, and she says, "You're certain?" And nods their head. Not a Kringal, but it was one. And then she looks at you and says, "A Loper."
What's a Loper?
We've learned so much since we last saw you. The information came at a cost. We almost lost in gestures towards the dread, but we learned a lot and have come to understand a bit more of what's going on. It's too much to explain here.
Well, I have to get the body to the crematorium. Was that the word?
Crematorium.
Yeah, just making sure that they actually use the word crematorium.
Yeah, those exist.
I have to get.
You can actually get them inside Kingdom
Building.
Building.
The body to the crematorium along with some of the other people that died. 13, I think, sent me a crown, a Psi crown.
13 sent us. He informed us that you were here and potentially needed aid.
Did you send the Psi crown then?
Shook her head. No, but it seems as though he was trying to offer some sort of guidance, though he did say he was heading west after this.
He said he'd get me something that could hide my psionics from these, I assumed, Lopers. Apparently I drew their attention.
She nods and says, "We were warned similarly to try to keep our use of abilities to a minimum. Obviously my latent ability isn't something I can close off, but..." And then she looks over at the dread again for having used it. And they're like, sorry, I had to know. She shakes her head.
Then we should at least be moving from this position just in case. So like this is like a move and talk sort of thing, because doesn't want to be in the same place where a psionic power is used at the moment.
She nods and says, "We're not staying in Melisal Harbor."
Understood. Where are you going? I think he'd be just playing with them.
Yep. There was a camp to the east of here where some organization had itself situated. They've since been dealt with, and the place is almost done being cleaned out.
Laughing.
She raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, that was me and my group.
Nods. Well, either way, it's almost done being searched through and cleared out. I figure the next 2 days it'll be empty. We're going to stay close to there and grab up a couple of the caves in the area to see if we can use that as a place to hide out for the time being. We don't want to be in Melisal Harbor right now.
Fair enough. He would actually probably describe the secret entry underwater to the biggest cave, just in case they need it. Just briefly, like, just in case you need it, there's blah, 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 and info dump.
The dread laughs and says, "You think she's getting her hair wet?" She looks at him unamused.
Gallad suppresses a laugh, but he wants to laugh.
It's like half a snicker.
Yeah.
A snort. So anyways, she says, sorry.
It's good to see you all, especially after these last couple of days.
She nods and says, there's a couple of other things we can go over as well, but we were told that you needed help, but truth be told, there was also a request that you had put in.
Yes. So he would actually, because these are something he would not have left in the barracks, the psycrystals. He would actually pull out these were on the body of the Loper. I was planning on sending them in to get looked at, see if we can maybe, if they're useful, we can replicate them.
Do me a favor. Roll an intelligence check as you're showing those to her. But in the meanwhile, so you're saying this. She nods and she goes to take them from you and says, "I'll look into these." Intelligence check 15. That's good enough. 1, so 2, 4, 5.
I assume they all. I'm imagining they meant the pauldrons.
Correct.
But I'm also just getting this off like quickly. Like
she says, I'll look into these for you. But as she reaches to like take those for you, you realize something as you pull them out to look at them in your hands. You realize there's 5 of them in your hands. One's missing.
Fuck.
Something wrong?
There were 6. There's only 5 now.
Is it possible that a thief got their hands on it?
Given these last couple of days and how tired I've been, unfortunately, it's possible. I've been suppressing any of my abilities, so...
Well, Goff says, well, it's not like one of them could have just walked off.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. There were, I've been... realistically, I would have been very protective of it, so this is not good. They would have to been really, really good and know that what was in there was valuable.
True. Or just lucky.
That's true.
Well, she says, well... We're going to have to deal with that as it comes. But for now, I'll take these and see if I can understand what they are. And then she'll produce from her pack and say, at your request. And she'll hand you the pauldrons.
Thank you. And he would take them, not put them on yet, but like put them to the side and just... These... Well, I mean, they definitely could have come in handy, but I'm definitely going to need them again. So thank you.
She nods and says, you know where we'll be, since apparently you're intimate with the area.
Yeah.
Come and find us when you can. Finish whatever it is you're doing here.
Will do.
And she'll take the 5 crystals, give you the pauldrons, the crystal pauldrons, which I'll allow you to describe, because obviously you don't want it to be overtly crystal, but at the same time you don't want it to be too subtle.
Yeah. So the way I'm imagining it is more like it looks like it's more of like a crystal lining and inlay, and like that's how it looks, but it's metal that's been placed over the crystal to make that sort of pattern. So it looks much more like it's a showy sort of piece of armor than being crystalline pauldrons, which is what they are. So it's definitely designed to not look overtly thing, but it's also meant to look a little showy, because any crystal is going to look a little showy, and it matches his braces, which also look a little showy. But okay. He's fine with that.
Yeah, again, it is parade armor. It's meant to be, as you just
exactly.
said, so,
yeah.
All right, cool. And we can go over what those do later on for chat. So anyways, you eventually make your way over towards the Faded Glory, or for Jake, the Rusty Trombone Glory Hole.
Just adding more things on the end of it.
Yeah. What it is, it's like a narrow closet. There's a hole on either side. And
does that mean I get there while he's doing all his stuff, gathering people?
So yeah, you actually get there after you arrive, and he's not there at the moment because he had to step away to go find the other soldiers that were like sleeping or what have you, that were off duty. So probably like a good 10-15 minutes after you get there, he'll end up showing back up to collect the soldiers that he already selected from here, with the ones that he got from where they were resting, to then head back to the field commander. So you arrive, and about 15 minutes later, he will arrive to kind of like meet up with you again. So when I
would have gone to the body right away.
So obviously you would have walked in, they would have known who you were, so what have you. One of the soldiers, Jake, sorry, just to touch on you for a second before we touch back on him. When you walk up, one of the soldiers, as you come up, you can see that they're a bit sheepish as they are walking up, because clearly they need to talk to you. I don't know if you approach it first or you wait for them to speak first.
He'll wait for them to speak.
They walk over, they're like, sir, I have unfortunate news for you.
What is it?
I'm truly sorry, sir, and I promise you that everything was done that could be done, up into and well after the point. And so again, I'm terribly sorry to tell you this. Sir, unfortunately, someone had stolen Tristan's horse, Carrick, and there was nothing we could do to stop it.
He would have seen Carrick when he exited the building earlier, I imagine.
Yeah.
Varys just puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Don't worry, soldier. I believe the horse has been returned to its good owner."
He looks like confused for a second. Like, what? Tristan got his horse back?
I believe that's what I was told. What I overheard.
How did he know it would? Happy days, sir. Happy days.
That poor dude was like waiting to report the news, as like mortified for that long to only to be like, oh, thank fuck.
Yeah, it's like Kraylene's flame warms my heart. He says he turns and walks away. So then you go. So ignoring you, Jake, go away. Back to you, Tesh. You're walking in, and there are two different rooms up there. One of them is with the body, and one of them is with the other two bodies. Which one do you go to first?
Yeah, I would honestly. He would go to the body first.
Sure. So these bodies are no longer guarded. They haven't been, because why would they guard corpses?
Yeah, actually, I probably would have brought a couple of a soldier or two that was on the perimeter that I could be spared. Like, I wouldn't take too many.
That's fine. If you would have asked her, she would have given you permission.
Yeah.
You two go with him, you know. Oh, yeah, really? Hold on. If you brought a soldier or two with you. Oh, you mean the perimeter of here?
Perimeter of here, yeah.
I was going to say, how'd you talk to your friends, friend?
No. When I arrived, I would have asked for a soldier or two to follow me just to help with the bodies, essentially.
Tesh, can you rephrase that? You don't ask them. You
I ordered
them. Yeah. So anyways, like, feel that power. No, so you will go up and go to which body first? Sorry.
I would go to the Loper body first.
Sure, absolutely. Again, roll me an intelligence check. The Loper body's there, to be clear.
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay. So
that was also a dice that was mean.
Yep. The Loper body is absolutely there. No problems whatsoever. It is lying there. So you're able to walk up to the. Go ahead. Oh, okay. What? They're gonna say something.
No, I was scratching.
so you're able to walk up to the Loper body, and it is absolutely lying there. So the two soldiers that you grabbed that come in with you go, Gallon, or Excellent, because I don't really know you personally. It's like, Excellent. Yeah. This thing is fucked.
Do I think they're just reacting to the fact that it looks weird? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I interject here? Isn't the body highly decayed? Because I'm pretty sure it was decaying at a rate of days versus hours.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be worse off than it is. But is it still recognizable as being weird? Yep. Like Perrin weirdness? Good.
Very elongated ears and so on and so forth. But again, that's like an old Perrin could look that way. But them being fucked, again, it's decayed, it looks strange, so on and so forth. So
it's definitely more decayed than it was last night.
Actually, did he remove the brain and nervous system?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. It wouldn't be decaying any more than where it was.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Like you would have stopped the decaying, Stan's a couple hours more of decaying from where it was when you removed the nervous system, because literally that it was consuming the body to keep its nervous system alive, and you removed what was eating it. So
fantastic. Okay, that's good, because that'll be important for showing the field commander. So I would basically order the soldiers to help wrap up the body. I might go down and get a couple more to help bring. So I'll get 2 to help with that body, 2 to help with.
Excellent. Excellent. I hate to say something, but like that bat tech that was in here before. Why did he take its brain? Like, why is it all cut open like this? Like it looks like chunks are missing from it.
Have you heard the term autopsy before? as the silence, because I assume they haven't. It is a way for an individual to learn a lot more about a creature by opening it up.
And taking its brain?
Taking various organs and parts of it. You can learn a lot. He's used knowledge that he's learned through this to save my life multiple times.
The other one chimes in and says, sir, again, everybody saw that he didn't need to sleep last night. And everybody knows that you came from out west. So, there are a couple rumors going on that, excuse me, that the Bat Tech is a zombie, and he ate the brain to sustain himself, which is why he didn't need to sleep last night. Is that true?
So he actually starts like trying to suppress a laugh. Believe me, if you saw us a couple of hours ago, you would see us completely passed out. He ran as long as he could. He is very good at running a little longer than other people, but everyone has their limits. And no, he's not a zombie. And he would get everyone just that's the sort of the tone of no, he's not a zombie is like, all right, enough of this. Let's actually get this done.
So the first one who pushes it even further, even though you're like clearly like changing the tone, like I'm done with this, he pushes it further and goes, but would you know?
Yes, I would, soldier. Now let's do our jobs.
Okay, and so and they start going to move the body and whatnot. Now, are you like hands on with this, or are you just kind of like overseeing and what have
I'd be more hands on with the Loper, but what I was saying before is I would assign 2 people to help with the Loper body, 2 people to help with the trader lady. I keep forgetting her name. I need to organize my notes a little better.
Vilfine.
Vilfine. And I would also start, I would get to organize with the acknowledgement with the partner about what will happen, the transport of the remains of Raylor to the cathedral, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, to the cathedral. So I would also organize that as well.
So because you're hands-on specifically with the Loper, while you're helping to like wrap this thing up and move it and all that fun stuff, could you go ahead and roll me a will save?
Ooh. Oh, no.
Don't worry about it. Nothing affects you. Nothing touches your mind or whatever. You're perfectly fine. Nothing affects you at all. You're good.
Fuck.
Don't worry about it.
Continue. That's always the worst checks are the ones where the DM immediately just continues on like nothing happened. That's always the worst. Okay.
It means it's already over.
Okay, so we would continue with as I was ordered, and take the bodies to with those soldiers, take the bodies to the crematorium.
So you grab those 4 soldiers, you go upstairs. By the time that Jake's character comes in and hears, Gallon's here as well, he'd probably detour for a moment, like, wait here, while he goes to check on you. You've already, because it's been 15 minutes, even 10 minutes upstairs is enough time to finish that conversation, get that body fully wrapped up and ready for transportation to start moving out. And they would have, obviously Rylor, out of respect first, would also be fully wrapped up at this point in time and ready to move out. So they're literally, as Viggo is coming into the building to see that you're there, you're standing at the top of the stairs, overseeing both the bodies being transported down, right? So you literally will watch him coming into the building. He'll look up and see you, and you're like, no, slower, please. We don't need to defile the corpse of the battle commander, or the fallen hero, or however, right? So then you guys see, and then, as the bodies kind of like move out of the way, I don't know if you guys meet on the stairwell, he goes up, you come down. If you guys just run at each other and do one of those, your legs go up as he hugs you and swings you, whatever it might be, right? So go ahead.
He would just sort of do like the good to see you.
You too. You're busy as well then.
Oh yes. I have to manage where the bodies are going. They're going to be incinerating the assassin's corpse, and he almost said Loper, but the assassin's corpse. I assume you learned everything you could from it. I hope you did anyway, because I don't think I can change this order.
No.
Good. Did you know they think you're a zombie? And it was give a little chuckle.
Yeah, you get a smile from Viggo. Oh, really?
Yeah, you see, you took the brain and you apparently don't sleep.
Huh. It's interesting. Wonder if there was a sleep barracks full of soldiers, but
yeah. Yeah, if they could have seen us like an hour ago, even I think at this point, even just like an hour ago. Whew.
Yeah.
Oh well, glad that this is almost over.
I hope.
Yeah, yeah. As he says it, he realizes what he said. He's like, "Where's wood?" Just knock something off my desk. Well, anyway, I better get these to the crematorium. See you later.
Yeah.
He turns to walk out. This would be Viggo, and the other 4 soldiers are coming in, and the two of them are going upstairs to wrap up the traitor, and the other 2 look at you like, back to post, sir. Like clearly excited to not have to touch dead bodies anymore.
Yeah, so I've got 2, one holding each body, I assume, that are wrapped up.
What? Huh? Oh, the bodies are already transported to wagons or carts or what have you outside.
Oh, okay, then yeah. No, then I would let them stay then, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, okay, it's kind of go back to what they were doing before.
And then
they don't wash their hands because guess what? That wasn't the concern.
I would have sent, so that means that makes a lot more sense. I would have sent someone to get a wagon to then take to the crematorium.
Okay. And so, and you would send for those things to be brought there. Do you go there yourself to wait there for hours?
It's sending them to the crematorium. I would return and grab my stuff, or like all my bags and everything and weapons, because we had to leave that at the barracks when we were getting ordered around.
So you want to go and get your stuff, and then what would you do after that?
What I would do, I think, honestly, is I would double check that our apartment is secure and then head and wait. So, but I may do something at the apartment if it is secure. But I would go to the apartment and then see what's there and go from there. But his goal is to go to the apartment and then go back to the crematorium and wait, because it is a fairly important piece of the
you will have zero, like you won't be inhibited in the least bit for any of that stuff. So unless there's something that you need to bring focus to.
So yeah, in the apartment, if the lock still works, even though the window's probably smashed out and everything's a bit torn to shreds, if the lock still works, he might try and put on the crown, because now might be a good point to try and got a couple of hours to get a handle on things, and if he can make sure he can use his psionic abilities without being terrified of being assassinated again, or attempted assassination again, it probably will be useful.
I have to look at that power again. It's been a hot minute.
So he would sit down, start getting ready to meditate, and then get the psi crown and put it on.
Yeah, just trying to. There it is. That's what I want. And then I want to go to you, and then from here I want it to go to. How is it that you do that? I think it's I think it's a baseline one. I don't think it's the specific ones like this. I think it's just.
Let's hope I've got my bad rolls out of the way, because I feel like I'm going to need them. But I chose now because I have a couple of hours before I'm needed. So unless this thing knocks me into a coma.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find what the power is called. My apologies. It's more or less it's the ability to effectively hide your mind, and there's multiple versions of it. There's the
right, yeah.
Sorry, just give me 1 second, because the whole idea is about hiding your mind. So the first one is called Conceal Thoughts. This is like the baseline ability. This one is constantly active. So it's literally one of those things where, so the baseline ability of this, so as long as the crown has its power and it stays above a certain level, you have a +10. When it gets weaker, it's a +5. When it gets weaker, it's a +2, and then eventually it stops functioning. The baseline ability is that's a circumstance bonus, to be clear, circumstance bonus on bluff checks against those attempting to discern your true intentions with sense motive. So to be clear, this is not bluffing for the sake of lying, right?
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to stone face a conversation, if you're trying to make it so it's hard for people to read you, like earlier Jake did that bluff check against the sense motive to, you know, toss eyes to his side, a scenario like that where it's not like you saying words, but somebody just trying to read you. Right now, that gives you a +10 circumstance bonus on bluff checks for that. Moreover, it currently gives you a +4. Again, as it degrades, sorry. It would give you a +2, then a +1 on saving throws against any power or spell used to read your mind. Go ahead.
Say that one again.
I'm going to copy and paste this part
Please
for
do.
you. I'm going to copy and paste this part for you.
I was trying to copy it out.
Oh, shit. Fucking...
that way I can just listen and I can get it later. So, yeah, sorry. This way I can just listen and...
So
okay, there we go.
This is at full power. This is the latent ability. This is like the constant ability, not like you activating it. Okay. So there's that one. Give me 1 second.
Okay, cool. Yep.
It's either this one or the other one. So hold on, I got one pulled up. I just gotta find the other one to make sure I give you the right one. And then all the crystals, I actually have all those, like I said, forever ago written down. So I literally just make the sheet available for you to see, and
perfect.
You'll know exactly what's on those. Not this one. Where is it? Bum 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 bum. No. Where are you? I don't think it's this one. So is it down here then? No, no, no. I don't think it's this one.
Wow.
Give for me a moment, please. Why can't I find you? Is it under a different... Is it like a specified ability versus generic? Is that why? Might be a specified ability. Let me go back and look at discipline powers. Go down to probably Seer.
So yeah, that what you pasted in there, that's all the stuff that's passive that will get weaker as I use the charges, right?
Yes, but again, I'll go over charges with you in a second. Sorry.
Cool.
False.
Yeah, charges of what the other ability is.
Yeah.
And so this will help me stay hidden from the Lopers when I use my abilities, right?
Not that part. The other thing.
The other
thing
part,
I'm looking for. Yeah.
Oh, that means
so
it'll only work for a limited time.
I had it open last week, but obviously we ran out of time to go over it, and then I didn't reopen it prior to the session this week. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called, and it's bothering me that I can't find it, which is so friggin' annoying. What's the spell version called? It's called
It's like something against divination. I can't remember what the name is.
I think I got it. Okay. So usually the spell is called non-detection, and I'm pretty sure there's a Pathfinder psionic version of that. And I'm literally just trying to find that, because I know how non-detection works. But this is supposed to be a psionic version of that. I am not finding it, so maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let me read these other ones, because I opened up other tabs just in case I was mistaken. No, it's not this. That's wrong. This. Okay, it might be this one, although that's very short active, so it can't be that. Nope. Though, give me 1 second. Give me this one. Yeah, I didn't think that. That makes no sense. Okay. Let's try this one. That's a fucking sexy ability. I love that ability, but no, it's not that one. This one, it could totally be. Okay. Which is a cool one to go over. And this is the one that you already have is the latent ability, which is to conceal your thoughts. Okay. So that an initial ability, by the way, is it's labeled as conceal thoughts. So you have, again, just like any other like staff or rod or what have you, there's multiple abilities, and each of them take a certain number of power points in it, right? So to go over the 3 different abilities, non-detection is usually a 3rd level ability. So 3rd level psionic powers cost what, 5 points?
I don't know because I don't go that high. At the moment, I only have 1st levels. I'll know once I haven't looked into that yet because I can't. It's a long time before I can get the level that lets me do that.
You don't have 2nd level powers yet? Wow, that's funny.
No. So it actually, I think it jumps in a chunk in power. Where's the astral suits? Because the enhanced version of the enhanced version of the power stone is the thing that does it, and it jumps its power up a bit. Where is it? Harness Power Stone Improved. Oh no, so Harness Power Stone Improved is the one that makes it. I have to be 7th level to do it.
So it's okay. This is a slightly different version, anyways. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So you're good, but sorry.
I don't think I ever get to access level 3.
So you have 3 different abilities inside of this crown. Okay, to be clear. So obviously there's that latent one that tears down as it goes. So going up in them, ability number 1 is called Thought Shield. This costs 3 power points to activate, and it only lasts for 1 round. Actually, you know, honestly, I'm just gonna send you a link. So you have
thank you.
You have where's Discord? I'm gonna explain it in chat, so chat has it though. Where is Tesh? Okay, here's Tesh.
Oh yeah, yes, please do.
So to explain in chat, the way Thought Shield works, it costs 3 power points. You can augment it. The maximum number of points you're allowed to spend is equal to your manifester level. But if the initial power point cost is greater than your manifest level, that's okay. You can manifest the vanilla version. How do I put this in layman's terms? If he's level 5, the maximum number of points he can spend is 5 during any one point in time. So Thought Shield costs 3 points. Vanilla Thought Shield costs him 3 points. But for every additional power point he spends, it increases an aspect of the ability by a little bit, right? Awesome. But the maximum he can spend in this power is 5. But if there's a power inside this crown that costs 11 points, even though he has that limit of 5, he can still spend 11 to use the vanilla ability. Cool. We understand that moving forward. So Thought Shield, so chat knows, for a very short period of time, like 1 or 2 rounds, you're immune to all mind-affecting powers and powers against you. You actually have power resistance against. So any powers against you, they have to make a manifest level check against you, like spell resistance, to even affect you with any powers, and all mind-affecting powers you're immune to while this is active, okay?
Okay.
That's number 1, okay? Number 2 that you have access to, this costs 5 power points. It's called Guarded Sleep. So the way Guarded Sleep works is you put it on yourself or an ally, and it lasts for until they wake up. More or less, you are able to utilize the power of your minds to fabricate a dreamscape. A dreamscape that is almost perfectly guarded against anybody else's ability to intrude your mind while you're sleeping. Unfortunately, while you're sleeping, you are vulnerable to so many different types of spells and abilities and what have you that otherwise you would not be open to while you're awake, or at least not as easily while you're awake. Some completely. That being said, you are able to build a dreamscape that is like more or less puffy cloud of heaven or whatever for them that perfectly guards their mind or near perfectly guards their mind while they're sleeping. So unfortunately, it's a lot of points to use for just a single use, but sometimes you really fucking need that. Okay. The last ability is called Personal Mind Blank.
Personal Mind Blank. Okay.
Yep. So this is a weird looking link for you. Anyways, so it's called Personal Mind Blank. It works like the spell Mind Blank, except it can only work on you. Okay? It lasts for an entire day. It costs you 13 points to activate. Wait, what class are you?
I am Aegis.
Which gets powers not like a... What power list do you use? Is it
your
own power list?
Yeah, I have my own sort of stuff. I assume you mean like warrior. Yeah, no, I don't use any of those.
Okay, perfect.
The only reason I have access to them is through the power stones.
Perfect. So this costs 13 points. It can only work on you. And just so you're aware, Mind Blank is not a weak ability. It literally makes it so you cannot be detected at all. People can't read your emotions, your thoughts. They can't detect you. They can't find you. You're perfectly invisible. You cannot be detected. It is impossible to find you. Okay? It costs 13 power points to activate this. Now this is a very powerful ability. However, your Psi Crown comes with it 60 power points. And this is where you have to start writing down this information.
Okay. I'll finish copying the spell later, so I'll bring it over so I can write down about the crown. Okay. 60 power points.
Correct. When you drop to 30, so 31 to 60, your baseline ability works exactly as it's described, the +10 and the +4, right?
Yep.
The next part is from 11 to 30. That's where your baseline ability drops to the +2, +5, right? So it's 11 to 30. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the first one is 10 and 4.
Yep. This ability.
And then 11 to 30. Yeah, I'll mark out the ability after. I'm just trying to make sure I have the numbers written down.
Yep. And then
and that drops to what? From 11 to 30?
From 11 to 30, that would make the 2-5 version. Yep.
Okay, so 5-2.
Yep. And then when you have 1 to 10 power points left inside the crown, that's when you can use my brain's not working here. I'm sorry, sir. When you have that's where it drops down to 1-2 for the baseline abilities. Yeah, cool. Mind Blank's an 8th level spell. Personal Mind Blank is 7th level or 6th for Sonic Warrior. Have a good one, Steve. Sorry we got boring on you, Steve. Jeez, wow, so judgmental.
So because it's power points in it, I assume I can only use the power points in it to use its abilities, or can I use my own power points?
You can only use the power points in it, but there's a couple of ways to circumvent this. If you activate the abilities, all of those abilities require a standard action to activate, right? Or one of them is actually an immediate action. If instead you use a full round action to activate an ability, right? You can with a cognizance crystal in hand. You have a cognizance crystal, don't you?
I do. Yep.
You can drain the cognizance crystal as part of a full round action to pay for part of the cost of the cognizance crystal.
Okay, so I can use the essentially, because I have a 2 cognizance crystal at the moment. I could use a full round to drain the cognizance crystal and use part of its. So use that 2 in the cost for the spell. Correct. So that way it would use less.
Correct. So in theory you would use instead of the 13, you'd only use 11, and you'd have a drained cognizance crystal.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now here's the other fun part. You ready for the last little ruling here? I don't know if you. I'll wait till you write that down. I'll tell you the last thing. Then we're done with the crown.
Okay, last thing.
If you choose to destroy a cognizance crystal, you can like a fully charged cognizance crystal. If you choose to destroy it, the maximum amount that a cognizance crystal can hold +1 recharges the crown.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
So if you have a 2, if you destroy it, you can have 3 go back into the crown. It's the only way to recharge the crown. Technically, there's other ways too that require you to, more or less steal the psychic energy of living creatures, but it's evil, and you're more or less like draining somebody's soul effectively. So Chick's sitting there like,
I'm unlikely to do that one.
Chick's if they're lopers, they're not people anyways, right?
Okay, yeah. So that's I gotta make sure I purchase some cognizance crystals next time I get the chance.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
They're not cheap.
I imagine not.
Okay, so you understand how all that works? That wasn't too much or whatever for you? A 1
the
point
page
cognizance
with
crystal is
mind
1,000
blank.
gold, so you guys know.
The page with mind blank doesn't seem to have the description. It says see below, and then there's nothing. I assume I have to click on.
The page with mind blank says.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It modifies the top and then says for the descriptive part, it's that bottom part. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just you only. You can't put it on anybody else.
It's mind blank, but only on me. Got
yep.
it. Cool.
Whereas thought shield's only on you, but the sleeping one you can put on others.
Yes. Cool. Got it. Okay. I will.
Cool. And this is an important caveat. You don't have to write this thing down, but make sure you understand you can never use more than one cognizance crystal at a time. But that's just like a baseline rule.
Yeah. Sorry. How many power points does the mind blank cost for personal?
13.
13. Okay. Then I may have put 13 on guarded sleep, which I don't think is correct.
That one should be 5.
5. Okay. Yep. There we go.
Should be 3, 5, and 13. And I think the only one that can be modified is the 3.1 is the only one that can be modified.
That's good. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you go into the room and you try on the crown. It's one of those things where you find a moment. I imagine you even like sit there and meditate for a couple of minutes, make sure you have all of your focus and everything back and everything's good to go. I say that as I regain focus on my camera. And then you finally, you take a deep breath, you center yourself, you place the crown on your head. Instantly, you can feel all the neural pathways in your mind being rewritten, like hard rewritten, to the point where literally your face becomes more or less expressionless. If you want to show expression on your face, you actively show expression on your face. It's without even thinking. It's just instinctive. Not that you got RBF, right? But it's just you've got like, you just maintain just like a stone face most of the time. You are a very difficult person to read. It's one of those things where even if you're like looking, let's say you're looking across the room and you're trying to read the menu that it says over at like your local, I don't know, McDonald's, people were looking at like, where the fuck is he looking? They literally have a harder time just seeing where you're looking. Like, is he checking out her ass? Is he looking at the menu? Is he interested in the car across the street? What is he looking at? Like it makes it that much harder to even like read you, right? Just because of the way that the thing rests your neural pathways and it alters the way that your muscles and everything function, right? Perfect. Who are they fighting is what he says as he walks in. So anyways, there's so many other questions that should be answered before that. So anyways, you feel that. You feel access to all these other abilities in your mind. You can feel the strength of them. And you know, and this is me talking to you, Tesh. D, I'm talking to you. You know the fucking power of that 13 ability, the capstone ability of that crown, right? And you know that is expensive. You use that 3 times, it's already dropped down, right? So that being said, you also understand that you're only going to access that if and when you need to start using your abilities. So you just like hang back. You use little to no ability most of the time. But then when you need to unleash, turn that on, and then you can go all out and you don't have to worry about a damn thing. For the next 24 hours, nobody can detect that. You cannot be found. You don't exist. Except for to the naked eye, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I think we understand this. We can move on.
Yes.
What else are you doing inside this place aside from putting this on and feeling your whole neural pathways in every aspect of what makes you you? It's just completely altered.
No, once he's done that, he's just going to sort of sit there and sort of regain himself, do like a bit of meditation, just sort of re-center himself before he heads out. But there's not much he can do because this place is a wreck at the moment. We're going to have to work together to clean this place up.
Yeah, it's
It got torn to shreds. I got two of my AoE crystal shatter abilities happened in here. So yeah, he would recenter himself and then just head on out.
Conceal thoughts. That's what I meant to look at. Oh yeah, conceal thoughts. By the way, lasts for 1 hour per level. So technically speaking, all you have to do to activate conceal thoughts, just so you know, because what level are you? 6.
Yes.
So more or less every 6 hours, you just expend psionic focus. And for the next 6 hours, that baseline ability I mentioned to you is on, and you just regain focus. So when I said it's continuous,
cool.
technically speaking, every 6 hours you just expend focus and regain it, and you're good.
Okay,
that way it doesn't cost you a thing. Yeah, but that again, that doesn't really matter. 6 hours.
Oh yeah,
is such
no,
a
I can
gap
just add that to the.
You can imagine
just in case it comes up.
Yeah, if you're walking into an important meeting and you're worried about time, you can literally be like, oh, 1 moment, Commander, or whatever you said, 1 moment, Viggo. And you just like literally spend 6 seconds, and then you're like, all right, let's go. And you walk in, you know what I mean? All right, cool.
I'll clean up those descriptions and everything. I just wanted to get them down and ready.
Perfect. So you are, so that's it. That's all you had to do here is put that on, make sure everything's good. Everything's exactly as you left it, except
I just wanted to be in a safe place when I put it on in case, because I knew that it did the safer out of sight.
I just wanted to be where somebody attempted to assassinate me.
Well, the last person that was here died, so.
Yeah, fair. Fair.
But yeah, I wanted to be out of just. It's somewhere where he knows at least, and so it would be easier for him to recenter afterwards. He didn't know how disruptive that the Psy-Crown was going to be, but he knew it was going to be disruptive. And then he'd head back to the crematorium and wait.
Okay. So
I assume the body is still waiting there because I ordered that it was to be weighted to be incinerated. Yep.
All that stuff. Yep. Again, like I said, there's zero impedance. It was just a matter of what little detours you wanted to make along the way to get there. All right, cool. We're now going to snap back to Jake, who has collected everybody that he needed to bring to be questioned by the field commander. At this point in time, though, I got to pee really bad. So I want to go upstairs and take a pee real quick, and we'll take a quick break so that we can keep going. And just because Joey's confusion, I just never closed the turn order that I had when we started the stream that didn't even need to be there at that point in time. So let's close that out, and we'll take a quick break and come right back 5-ish minutes, okay? Sound good, boys?
Yep.
Yep. You're
awesome. Good. Be right back. Thank you, everybody. Sorry about the wait. Bum, bum, bum.